fucking 0 pings, 200 body hurts, fucking bitch.
Camden.
You're not going for. You got me killed.
Yeah, what? What am I hearing?
That was
You
funny.
got me killed.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
for a time.
Jack. Jack, I've got a strap for you. You there, Jack? Bro's just ignoring me.
What? No! You gave me one option and one option only!
Goodbye.
We both to the exact same kit. We're doing that again. We're doing that again.
Obviously, apart from the fact you don't stream sleep most time, that's a good agreement.
You agreed to that? I didn't fucking agree any format. He shot me and cracked me to 1 HP.
And then you shot back, get skinned weird.
I feel like we scuffed each other.
Mm-hmm. You think?
Next time, let's not fucking trade for Surge if we're not going to get to Surge.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm definitely stream sniping you.
Of course.
Same place, Jack?
You
Jack!
never know. I don't actually think he's there.
I think he went for his shit. I'm gonna ring him on fucking WhatsApp. He doesn't take his phone for his shit. That's fucking weird.
Usually he does. He's on call with me.
Shit!
This guy.
10 minutes.
Wait, when's the next one?
In 10 minutes.
This is 35. Not bad. Looks like I'm watching for it. But look. Let's look for a 10-minute video. Or 15.
stream, I gift you a skin. None. And guess what? I was gonna gift you a skin.
There were so many dead,
I was gonna
infected
gift you.
and non-infected alike.
That's why our home is so precious.
Gift you.
Nature must find a way.
Sabrina Carpenter.
The only thing that people respect is
There it is.
Just feel the urge.
There's a completely unknown Fortnite player who has been outplacing and destroying the best professional players in the world. This season, he's won an FNCS Divisional Cup, won his group in the FNCS semi-finals, made the entire country of France hate him, won 2 of the 6 solo cash cups, and almost won FNCS Grand Finals. Now, similar to some of the world's best players, he's even received some cheating accusations. This player's name is Demis. Now, Demis is a player who's been competing since 2020. However, he only got his first earnings back in January of 2023 with the introduction of the Solar Victory Cups. Now, in that format, all he had to do was qualify to the finals and then win a game and you'd win $100. Turns out that Demis is quite the solo player and he was able to win 12 Solo Victory Cup games and $1,200 before ever earning any team mode. Now, I had heard about how good Demis was, not because I'm a noticer, but because my friend, Coach Harry, is. Jump forward a few months after this conversation, and all of a sudden, Demis is at the top of every single leaderboard, and he seems to be a massive part of why so many French fans are sending death threats and hate mail towards any Polish player. You see, this year's FNCS Global Championship is held in Lyon in France. You see, for most of this season, Cami, Sei, and Hari, who are Polish players, have been fighting off spawn at Lost Lake against Akira, Exwiz, and Podesai, French players. Now, in order to make it to the FNCS Grand Finals, the biggest tournament of the season, you need to come in the top 10 in your group. However, these two teams were in different groups, which meant that they were both going to land at the same drop spot completely uncontested. Now, this means it's significantly easier for you to get into the top 10 of the leaderboards, meaning that it's going to be much easier for you to make it to Grand Finals. And if both of them are in different groups, this means it'll be much easier for both of them to qualify and get a top 10. The result of this is they'll both be contesting each other and fighting off spawn in Grand Finals, and more than likely won't do well in the one tournament where it really matters because they'll either die half of their games or have other teams rotate in and kill them. And that's where Demis comes in. See, this season he's playing with Pix and Darm, and they usually land at Pumped Power. Coincidentally, they were also in the same group as French team Akira, Exwiz, and Podesai. Now, Pumped Power was going to be contested by another team. So rather than fighting them there, Demis's team decided to land at Lost Lake contesting Akira, Exwiz, and Podesai. Now, many of the French fans were upset about this because they're clearly thinking that Cami, Seti, and Hari, another Polish team, have got their Polish friends to change drop spot to land on Akira, Exwiz, and Podesai to ensure they don't qualify to the Grand Finals to make things easier for Cami, Seti, and Hari. Whether or not this is true, we will never know. But what we do know is they absolutely bossed this lobby. Now, if you know anything about Polish players in Fortnite, they don't really have the best reputation for being the fraggiest of players. If anything, their reputation is usually being incredibly smart, being able to understand position, creating great strategies, rotating incredibly well, and are generally regarded as some of the smartest and most consistent Fortnite players of all time. But their fighting skill is nearly always their weakest link. For Demis, Pix, and Darm, this is not an issue. Their worst game in this tournament was a top 8, and they even managed to win the final game with 17 elims. Out of their 50 total elims in this tournament, Demis had 22 of these, having some insane major clutch ups. For example, in game number 2, where Pix ended up going down early, he was able to clutch up a top 2 with 7 elims. They won their group and qualified through to their first FNCS Grand Finals, whereas the contesting team of Akira, Podesai, and Exwiz, who they had been bossing off spawn, ended up in 28th, not qualifying. Funnily enough, they did manage to then qualify through the last chance major by winning a game and contested Cami, Seti, and Hari, and as predicted, with both teams contesting each other, they both did badly. But Demis' trio with Pix and Darm did incredibly well. So what is it that makes him so good? If you watch any of Demis' gameplay, you'll immediately notice how incredibly good his movement is. Take this kill against an absolute NPC. Sorry NPC if you're watching this. Notice how after hitting a shot onto the other player, he swings around the right hand side and grabs a wall in front of him. He does not, however, just keep running straight into the other player's box. Instead, he edits a bottom right 4-tile edit and swings to the left a little bit to ensure he's hidden behind it. If you watch this from the other player's perspective, he is 100% hidden behind this edit, which allows him to hit a big shot. He then resets the edit and immediately starts sprinting round to the other side of the player. Since you can edit while sprinting, he edits that wall and slides into the box, making it incredibly hard for him to get hit, allowing him to easily finish off the other player who was just completely lost. When I was 1v1ing Veno for my previous video, he said that if he's in a box with another player, when he shoots his shotgun, rather than switching to his assault rifle, he'll sprint and slide to try and avoid being hit after that, and then go for another pump shot. It seems like more and more the best players are implementing sprint slides into their gameplay when you're in a 1-tile radius, and this completely makes sense. Because Fortnite has not the best servers and there's usually quite a lot of desync, the player who moves the fastest will usually have a good peeker's advantage. I will do a whole video on this eventually. So by sprint sliding, the opponent becomes visible to you way faster than you become visible to the opponent. So even where in this scenario he's sliding into a left-hand peek, he actually has the peeker's advantage because he's moving so fast. Plus, he's so low to the ground, it's just really difficult to hit him. Now, if you go back and watch that clutch where he ended up second with 7 eliminations from the FNCS group stages, you can see him do this mechanic all of the time in endgame. This mechanic can also be used just to slide straight into people's boxes, such as here where he gets the 29th elim out of these 31s, where if you time the wall bait correctly, you can just phase straight in because you're moving faster. But I think the coolest use of this is when Demis is getting W keyed here, and after getting hit, he turns, sprints, jumps, resets the wall, places a ramp, all whilst flying backwards. But because he has this sprint jump momentum that he's moving backwards, this actually allows him to slide down the ramp, spin around, and create another full box with a ramp inside, which in a matter of 1 second creates 3 layers between him and the other player who's trying to fight him. This gives him time to heal, and then of course he can just edit through all of these builds and then kills the player. But there's way more examples than just sprint sliding. Take this clip, for example, from the literal next elim, where he gets doubles over the other player. Now, most people jump down into the box, which is extremely risky, and since the other player drops back through his other wall, Demis actually has the awareness to walk along the other player's wall and crouch to try and get an angle. Unfortunately, he is not successful here and kills the player in another way, but this micro movement awareness, I genuinely don't think I've ever seen from any other player. Another trend I noticed with Demis is he's insanely good at getting doubles over other players. In this scenario, the other player boxes up, and Demis notices that he's only connected by 2 walls, so he just sprays these out to knock the other player down. Now, most people in this scenario, when that player is falling, they're going to try and take a shot and then grab a wall between him and the other player. But instead, what Demis does is he shoots a shot to get damage off and then immediately elevates himself up 1 layer. At this point, the other player is really busy trying to grab those walls that most people would take, which means Demis can freely grab the floor and the cone above the player. Then all he needs to do is double edit down, a couple walls and a cone, and a pump shot to finish him off. And one of the reasons he can do this so easily is because he's a really good read on what other players are going to do. Take this scenario, for example, where Cringe here is getting lobby focused by a bunch of players. Now, most people would just try and smack on the wall behind him and take it, but instead he reads that Cringe is going to go down a layer, and by the time he does, Demis has already boxed that side up and is already pickaxing on that wall, giving the other players 0 time to react. And this elim's also just another great showcasing of his good movement fundamentals as he keeps swinging behind the peanut butter edit rather than just running into the box and trying to finish off Cringe quickly. And I think the best way to describe his fighting playstyle overall is just calm and patient. In this endgame, he kills 3 pros: Vico, Cammy, and Thomas HD. But the one onto Thomas HD is particularly interesting. He's in no way afraid to tank any storm here whatsoever, and despite the pressure of a 1v1 scenario and the ticking storm damage, he still takes the time to make sure he's making a good angle and taking a good right-hand peek. This ultimately wins him the game. These things are also a positive feedback loop, where the more calm Demis is, the easier it is to read the opponent. And the easier it is to read the opponents, the less you have to panic, and therefore the calmer you can be. Ultimately, I think this positive feedback loop is one of the reasons why Demis is as good as he is. But interestingly, having good awareness on the other player is what has made some people to believe that Demis is cheating.
Promise.
It's now free to sell on eBay. eBay. Things people
No, because
Phillips presents.
So gentle. Coach.
Trim and
In his 31 Elim solo cash cup game, he manages to get an Elim and then immediately turns around and full boxes up above another player, clearly knowing exactly where he is. He breaks through the floor, and this fellow Polish player lives up to the Polish reputation of not really being able to fight and just kind of jumps around the box and dies. Now, this TikTok seems to make it seem like this is one of the most suspicious things of all time. How did he know he was hiding in such a good hiding spot that could never be found? He's clearly using ESP to see through walls. Or he has the Void Boon, and he just got an Elim, and you can literally see the effect leave the player's body as he gets eliminated and highlight the other player, making it the freest Elim of all time. There's also a point later in this TikTok where this guy's like, how could he possibly see someone when he was in this cone? How would he ever know he's there? When he literally just saw the person in the cone as it was just building earlier. And then another clip after, he's like, how did he know this player was in this cone? But when Demis approaches the box, you can see him take his cone out and check the cones. If someone's inside of it, you'll see a lock symbol in the center of your screen. So Demis can clearly see that there's someone just sitting in this cone at this exact moment. Now, 200,000 people saw this TikTok and maybe think that Demis is cheating because of this, which is a real shame. And I'm not going to say he isn't, but I've seen zero clips that make it think that he is. And the more I watch him, the more I realize this guy's just booga. Now, obviously, dropping a 31 bomb against opens level players in the first game of a solo cash cup is still impressive, but I think the most impressive thing about Demis when he fights in trios with Pix and Darm is the strategies that they come up with to fight other top level pro teams. In the FNCS semi-finals, as we already mentioned, they were contesting the French team of Akira, Podesai, and Exwiz. And in this particular game, they were playing this fight defensively, whereas the French team were the ones aggressing them.
Oh my god.
As soon as this fight commences, all three of them immediately crouch at the exact same time, almost, making it really difficult for the French team to figure out exactly where they are and which angles
When am I going to get an invite?
After a couple of back and forths, Demis and Darm make an amazing play where they bait the other team. They tarp over to the other building whilst Pix is still crouching down below. The French team now thinks they've all rotated over, which allows Pix to sneak up on top and beam X-Squeeze. He drops down and falls straight into Darm, who wipes him out. This now becomes a 3v2 and Demis is able to get him on both of the other two players. So this was a great bait and switch, which allowed in another game, they did a really nice setup where Darm went on top of the main building. Pix ramped up on the right side to make sure they couldn't escape, and Demis was on the south, which basically forced Podesai to either rotate to the north or just fight them. Since they were trapped inside the building, this actually allowed Demis just to spend a ton of time looting and get a good mat advantage. They then baited that they left the fight by all teleporting south, but then immediately teleported back up north and created a beautiful pinch where Demis was flanking around the left and Pix and Darm were on the right hand side, completely sandwiching Akira and X-Squeeze together into the middle, which allowed them to jump in and just finish the fight. Unfortunately, this footage is really laggy. Thank you, replay mode. As I've been recording this video, FNCS Grand Finals has been going on, and they've been actually contending for first place. Unfortunately, they weren't able to win because this video would have been too cinema, but Demis, Pix, and Darm were absolutely popping off and were really impressive for a first-time Grands team. It'll be interesting to see their progression across the entire year. Now, in this video, I covered a lot about how Demis has had some cheating accusations, which I think don't hold any weight, but way more people have accused Peterbot of cheating, and you can see my full analysis of how Peterbot beat the allegations by clicking on this video right.
Looks like that's the next video we're watching.
For years, Peterbot
I have time to watch some of that video.
Colony growing on
Oh, what we're watching.
but I had to try the food, so I got a pizza, a hot dog, and
This isn't just any chat.
The man bit into a grenade, making the nearby soldiers extreme.
Hey, check it out. A flyer for a missing dog with a $1,000 reward. All right, so? It's just this dog kind of looks like me. I'd sneak out while they were asleep and come home. Then we could split the money 50-50.
All right, Brian, now remember, I'm the one who found you, and I'm taking you back to your family.
Why are you dressed like that?
People aren't just going to give a baby $1,000, Brian. Yeah, what's up, Chief? Bobby Beccarino from around the way. How's it hanging? Me? Probably stuck to my frickin' thigh right now because I sweat so much during construction. Know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, Rover!
Bobby Beccarino was laying drywall with the boys when he spotted this idiot taking a big dump near my bandsaw.
Nice place you got here. Whoa, what the hell?
You thought you could escape from Chase's TikTok house. Enjoy your last couple of days alive.
Oh God, coming here was a mistake. Like buying that German plunger.
Das gut, yeah, I am worthless. Punish me.
Yeah.
Hey, check it out. A flyer for a missing dog with a $1,000 reward.
Scroll.
Right, so?
Just this dog kind of looks like...
Oh, I got one.
Your child can learn to...
This is the original Superman 1 costume.
How much do you want for all this?
$300,000.
But I'm not going to spend that kind of money.
Watch this dealer get stunned after doubting the worth of a legendary
300K.
Superman suit.
It's not the original Superman. The original Superman was on
300K is crazy.
So how much do you want for all this?
$300,000.
Do you mind if I call someone in?
No, no problem at all.
A couple items from the original Superman movie came in, and the seller wants $300,000. But I'm not going to spend that
You're
kind
joking.
of money.
The material's absolutely right for 1978. It's a stretch nylon. We have sewn-on label that says
Just let me know when you're in game. I'm watching how
Oh wait,
people-
there's new queue, there's a new queue, there's a new queue.
Peterbot has
Everyone's
had
coming.
so many
No, wait.
cheating
I don't know.
accusations that he was nicknamed Cheaterbot.
Something is not adding
But
up to
everyone's
this
on
gameplay.
random.
The dude's cheating his off, bro.
So he's tracking these guys
Oh,
through
never mind, never
walls
mind.
and like
But he just went on to have the best year in competitive history, placing second, first, and first in the 3 FNCS majors, but this only made the cheating accusations worse.
For me, the most notable piece of damning evidence against Peterbot is that he is an FNCS
Yeah,
winner,
that's
but he
horrible.
won from his house.
Now there's like a million videos covering Peterbot's backstory, so I'm just gonna speedrun it.
Striker medallion, which makes you invisible as you sprint and jump. So subscribe for more. 3 new bosses.
I have probably the world #1 Pokemon collection inside this case. So how much do you want for these things? $500,000. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Watch this dealer get blown away by the value of the Pokemon collection.
It's like a game like 8-year-old kids play, right?
Each player has a deck of 60 cards, and you battle with your Pokemon. You'd win by your opponent not having any Pokemon left.
It seems to me the one who's going to make the decision really doesn't know what he's looking at. I'm happy that the expert is coming in to educate the fellow. He's got Pokemon cards and
It's gonna be a dead lobby because he just started it.
$1 million. This doesn't make any sense to me.
Rated 10.
It's a dead lobby.
This, there's 20% of the market sitting on your counter. This is a one-of-a-kind collection.
What do you think this stuff is worth?
This one here, there's only one of them in existence. There's no other graded at 10. This card could go 30 to 40,000. Altogether, I'm estimating anywhere from 380 to 390,000 for this.
I have probably the world #1 Pokemon collection inside.
Oh, it's such a dead lobby.
My neighbor was so
Such a dead lobby. Jack on the bus. Jack bus. Look at the player count. Look at the player count, Jack. You fucked up my drop. You fucked up my drop. You actually fucked up my drop. Yeah, cause... Yes, actually would, you know, because it's a dead ass lobby. I don't know. Thanks for telling me in a little building. Have you looked at the playcam? Yeah, but what? Yeah, but
So we can actually get to the end.
It's
of
not a
the
million.
know the rest of it already. Started as a console player, switched to PC.
no, you
keyboard
didn't.
mouse, and
I
pretty much
always know you
instantly
lie
got
about being
incredibly
dead.
good just by playing a lot of zone wars and box fights. That then converted really well into trio FNCS in Chapter 2. He won his first FNCS with Bila in Chapter 3, but Bila was like too scared to go
Oh,
to land, so Peterbot had to fill with Jamper, and they sucked. He struggled to get a consistent teammate for most of the Chapter 4
I
after
actually
that in
might be dead too.
2023, where he ended up playing with pretty much a different player every season before eventually going
Why
back to
did it
Global
end
with Bila
seriously?
again. They placed 26, which is pretty bad. So now you're basically caught up on all of the elements of his backstory, outside of one important one, which is the cheating accusations. During this time, there were a lot of clips of Peterbot that looked
NPC
sus.
lookalike.
I'll be honest, most of these can be pretty easily explained by having one of the best players in the world constantly live and showing his gameplay, and for the most part, some strange
Yeah, get
things
shit
are
on,
just bound to
bitch.
happen. This is particularly true when most of the clips
Imagine
come
landing
from
my
the laggy
PO1.
spectator system, where the player was not. And the
Imagine
other
landing
was.
my
But
PO1
these
still
claims
dying
led to
after
video
it hit me
after video
100.
of players calling out Peterbot for cheating, with one in particular, I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah, but the
it's
share
so
screen, so you
funny,
can
I just had
so
to
you can
show
watch
it.
them. duo scrims. Huh? Yo, you watching my session? But look at my mythic pistol. Me and my mythic pistol. Me and my... It's mythic. I don't know what you're running. Why would it let me grapple? Why won't it let me grapple? Oh, it's mythic. I don't know what you're going on about. Literally. It's literally purple. I think I might be colorblind. See, look. This is my. This is green. Come on! My biggest would be dead. Come on! Come on. I don't know if there's lobby if people are fighting. Check his Twitch. Whoa. I didn't know he was talking shit. You talking to me? Yeah. What? Ah! Missed it! Hello? Hello? Yo, join my lobby. We're playing duo scrim now. Are you streaming? No, you can't. My dick. What is that crosshair you're using, Jerk? How? Have you got 40 friends? What? You're putting on what now? Who likes my crosshair? Who's using my crosshair? It's the best crosshair in the world. Oh my stick. Who did you invite? What the fuck, sideswipe? I got Stickman. I got Stickman as my crosshair. Nah, I got Stickman. My foot's itching. Why are you gonna share screen on a fucking phone? Oh, my foot's so itchy. Oh, yeah. Keep crushing it. And I fucking. mother say language. Oh, those. Where's the crosshair gone? With the fuck's 20 pass. What's 20 pass? Where's my gone? Save that. Young they arrested me because I'm a young nigger because I'm brown. Simple edit. Wow. Huh. Yo, bitch, I'm not on simple edit because I'm just good, man. I'm just good. And simple edit's for gay people. What in game? It's not in game. I think something simple. Okay, now. Where's me in this conversation? Where's me? Who are you watching? Sure, why not? I'll be the third. I'll be the third. Whose gameplay are we watching? Yep, who? Do you streams? Oh my god. Why are you guys chatting about skims? Is my trio primed? 29 minutes.
Yep.
Now I YouTube.
I still don't know where that shockwave came from.
Those people have looked at it. 50.
Wait. Oh, does it?
What? Just been what?
I missed so much shots, but these kids is. I'm pretty sure I almost took both. Almost.
I found your YouTube channel.
It's
120. Oh, I'm so good.
the main thing is because I had the DMR.
No, don't. Jack, there's like 3 kids in there.
Jack, he's got to stop panicking. He panics so much. Yeah.
Jack, there's like 3 kids in there. No, don't. Jack, there's like 3 kids in there.
I think he's panicked.
You back up.
At the end, just where I scuff up a bit.
Right, good.
Okay, bro, chill out, bro. I'm chill.
No.
It's me, bro.
No,
He's
because
a chill
you're
guy.
over that launch pad, you use a shot pad, I think you get done.
No, don't go
I
down.
know. You kind of griefed Mark a bit.
We've got a coach in the building. 35. No, still someone.
Oh, trust an end game up. You just gotta give it a minute. Like,
I've just banged him.
you're gonna see a bit. You've got to try and work on not taking as much damage.
Wait, Hughes, get on height. Wait, I'm going to go stop.
Dude, you can still take the pistols.
When's the next trio one?
Oh, you know where I'm high?
Dead. Oh my.
Nice. That was tech, Jaden.
It's right there.
This is where I start popping up with gamers.
Sniper at the start. From where?
There's people sitting up, look.
Oh, yeah.
They've got to drop in there.
No, they haven't. Crack, 110 on that box, 110 on.
Like, actually club off.
Everybody get rid of your markers, all markers get rid of.
What about
You
you?
guys too panicky.
What about me?
No way.
33.
Oh my god.
Wait, down here, back here. 35.
That guy as well, watch this kid.
Jack, use your trio when you get banned.
See to the left.
Oh, rank
Like, see
S.
behind, see right there where I'm looking right now.
Rank S,
This is where I got
How much have
a kill. And then I got something really low. Mark will leave the kid out there.
Can I just say something from Marcus? I think you guys should have rotated north a bit, do like a DC ramp.
No, you'll see. In your trust.
What happened?
54. 100.
What's in there?
Like that's some strats. Yeah.
Is this the game you won?
There you go. Yeah.
Is that you, Jack?
Yeah.
Where's Mark?
I was looking at like you cooked him so bad. Jack boosted him away with his bass boost.
Why?
But Mark makes
Back here,
it back up.
Doing a Fabio, get after him. Get on as well.
He actually got up really fast again. I didn't really see it. I think I was looking the other way when it happened.
Right here.
Back here, back here, back here.
And then you kill him there.
Get after him. Get on as well.
You're crazy with the primal thing.
Finish.
This is where I get
No,
like
976.
This is where you almost died.
I've got so many kills and none of my bodies. Right, right, on us, down
You
here.
know, I saw like see when we get on height and stuff. I saw like mats, and we didn't go down for him because we didn't go for it. Which I think we should have still went down. Look at that. Like, no, but I kill us kid later in this. This is his team. There you go, you got it. And it's, see, as soon as we got arrested plus that was brilliant.
Jack, go down there, that's what's the back.
Stay on height, look at me.
You tell us to stay on height, but then I just make the play to come over and it's so smart.
Yep, nice boys.
I didn't really see the rotate because I was looking at the other way, I'm pretty sure.
Stay on height.
180.
Yeah, yeah.
One. Dead. Kill him. I don't know, but yeah. Jack, go down there, that's what's the back.
Yeah, yeah.
Stay on height, look at me.
I'm getting on you. I'm getting right on you. Go, look height.
Yep, nice boys. I'm looking back.
Yeah, get back.
Brain. 39 white.
Right here.
39 white.
See, as the kid that I almost killed earlier.
Nice, shoes well in control.
Yeah, I know you did that. I'm pretty sure I called that to you to connect.
What's in there?
I did tell you to keep an eye on it as well. Yeah. I don't know, I kept putting fours, it's the one thing that annoys me.
Oh, nice. But you want to come and get my medals? I'll go spot my
Tell her,
medals.
wait a minute.
I need
Tell her,
all
wait a minute.
mats. I only have wood. I connected like proper.
Can you pause that for a second, Jack? I'll be back.
So we're doing a scrim. Jack. Seven.
I'm back. Let's go. We need to watch from the very start after this.
I only have wood, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay back here and make sure you don't stop. What's in there?
Like, see, look, I called that mark, Matt's bit. This was easy kills, honestly. See if I had an AR. This was easy kills.
Who kept high
You
this
can
long?
that.
The fact you guys kept high ground this long is good. Because high ground.
We keep it the whole game until top 2.
Yeah, but the stacked lobby.
Top 3. It might have been top 3. Not yet. It's when I'm built out of metal we get disconnected, I'm pretty sure.
Look down.
It's either brick or metal, it's definitely not good.
79 white.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
happy with the DMR, we just need to be playing. Look, I lag here. So see there, see there, I lagged, right? And then, because I thought I was lagging again, that's why I thought the builds weren't placing. I think we got chopped all the way back, side. I don't think we got chopped close. Go S plus.
Same.
It's all good. That's all good.
Cracked.
Net, we're about to get chopped here.
Dead.
I should have connected to this post back there on Shining Span.
Shot him.
Shut up,
My fault.
Nice chat.
Right, this is where we get chopped because I remember it. I tried to place it right here and it stopped.
We
get chopped.
No, I fell.
Okay. 50.
And
I'm getting back up.
I feel stuck. Just to mention, look at my mats. Like, this is why I died. You'll see in a second how I died.
20. 40.
9.
Connected.
Go bear.
Look, I do this, which is W.
Cracked. Dead.
Right, and then I jump down here. It's a 3v1 at this point. I had 30 and then I died because I got stuck in your body.
The accent from Jaden just made it better. He said, "We did it!"
Right. Door creeper, right there, in the flesh.
Is that
Oh, look, we pull so much here.
Huh?
Only a pistol. No what, Jack, you know what I find crazier in this? You had an auto until the very end. You got it on this ramp. No, before that. It's a bit before it, so when we're on that big ramp. It's before that even more.
Jaden, there's pistols on your right.
I'm coming over.
No, it's before that. When we're on a ramp. There, that's it. Look, there you go, you found it.
Found one.
I know, because I couldn't see that. Like, I literally couldn't see it at all.
It kind of looks like.
I'm surprised the kids didn't try to kill you.
The screen when I found it.
When's next script? 3 minutes you've got, so we can watch a bit of our mid game.
What was it, see?
Like, the end game we've got. Go back a bit. Like, see to, like, a middle of this thing. Like,
Yeah. Is that you
See
can't
my call?
practice your mid game?
I just need metal.
See my call?
Yeah.
Like, to go to. Like, you're like, go Utopia, you go Utopia.
No, it's not fine.
But I said go that hill and we got zones every time.
I'll get you though.
Oh, it's a whole show I'm cutting.
Yeah, and then I was on my way.
It looks like it. Oh, Mark's just following us.
But I did get a tag or two on.
He's following me.
I got a tag or two on this.
Yeah, he's shooting me. Take five.
What? No, it's fine. I'm trying to listen.
No, Mummy needs to show his head.
No, she's not.
She needs to show your the clothes. Look, do you think they can see his clothes?
No, I don't talk to myself. I do actually.
That's what I mean.
Right.
Stay in the party, but you'd have to sit out.
Wait, Jack, who are you talking about when you said it's fine, he can join, but he has to sit out?
It's Evan. It was somebody claim us. But he was just watching us and giving us comments. But like, they're not the best comments. He's not the best.
I don't hear any comms.
I mean, that's fine, because then they can't shoot us.
He just tells us stuff like
That's everything. I've still got the twin
he's just
up.
feeding us information basically. He was watching my Twitch stream, so it's a bit delayed.
Why the fuck's your crosshair still in the middle?
What?
Jason, your crosshair's in the middle.
Oh yeah.
Scream.
I've got a custom crosshair on my monitor, so
Where do you go? Put my hand up.
I'm going to get my Twitch stream pod up.
My chair's so fucking broken.
Jack, look at this. 2 seconds.
123 time.
Right.
What is it?
Good boy.
I can't.
Listen to this.
Scotland's #1 controller.
Obviously. I swear I just heard it.
Good boy.
Yeah. That's because I finally got Mark gun.
You did for fucking hours.
Yeah. We get one day.
Could have been this one.
Boss again, Jaden.
Yeah, it was this one.
The boss is easy to pick out.
If you've got shield bubbles.
Stop now, you got
Wait, let's hear what we were talking about after.
What does shield bubbles have to do with it?
Crack!
That was crazy for me that time.
Come here. Let's keep going, keep going.
My sector never made this ball. Yes, Jack, connecting.
Well killed.
Yes, I got all wins.
I looked back.
Same. Cracked.
Yes, first of all,
There. Cracked.
He's going to storm and get a storm and get shield.
Sharp hitting.
Jack, you better have to put your hand up.
Dead.
Nice, Jack.
I don't know if I got it.
50.
90.
No, I haven't. No.
We'd be chopped.
No, it fell.
Okay. 50.
Yeah, no, it's just here. I don't think
I'm getting back up.
Keep high.
I mangled up and then decided no.
I'm sorry, I'm fighting. Right here.
Nice. 20. 40.
9
might on you, Jack.
Connected.
Go up there.
20. 40. Cracked.
I got 20 damage.
Cracked.
Right, good.
Dead.
I need to. I'm gonna practice with the MR.
Nice.
Like, that's
Yeah. Good finish.
Yes!
Yes! We're crazy!
So good!
Oh my god.
We're actually the gods. Let's go!
No way you both died at the end, though, at kid.
Yeah.
Well, I got the storm. I got pushed all the way back.
How much kills did you get? How much kills?
Yeah,
I don't know, I'm trying to check. It's not letting me check.
Doesn't let me check.
Oh,
I got like
Matt, I got 4.
How much did you get? I got 3.
I can't see.
Check.
I got
look
4.
at match stats. Go to match stats.
I can't. I haven't got anything on my screen.
You go and match that one.
To be fair, I've got an excuse.
No, like, I haven't got
I've
anything on my
excuse. I
screen.
had a DMR.
I can't even leave. Let's go, bro.
I mean, I've got 3.
I had a good excuse. All I had to do
I got like
I got
6.
3.
I'm
Mark
pretty
got
sure we
4.
got like 10. We got like 15 kills there.
Yeah. Ain't no way we won. Look at
Wait, did we get money for winning that game?
No, if you only if you have premium.
Wait, you've got
I
premium,
used to have
have you not?
premium.
Oh.
Wait, no, we should get money. And there's 1 minute left. Evans.
Perfect.
No, he can't sit out because it counts the number of players in the party. He needs to leave real
Oh
quick.
yeah.
Evan, you're still watching stream.
Oh my god.
Just give it time.
Wait, it says we should have won £3. Oh no.
That
Ain't no
was
way we won.
That was so good. I had no mats at the end. Oh, we're going there again.
Pros only win like a couple. But I'm pretty sure there were some good players in that.
That was such a good game, by the way.
So good, bro. That AR, I cooked with it. I cooked with AR.
I know. You go at the same spot. I just want to get whatever weapons you had last time. Sit on height and hopefully we've got.
I know, I watched it.
Is this one I done
Such a
this
good
game?
game, wasn't it?
No, we're on COD.
Evan, do you want to go live?
We're on COD.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Go back to the
Watch Aiden.
Yes, I'm on.
How'd you get over there? Fucking out 300 plays.
See, next time, you really like the COD that you will be in playing Crimson.
Nice.
Got a DMR, I just sent me now.
Stream it and then we can go back in your VODs. Have you got your VODs turned on?
I can record.
I just need double bass.
Well, I need a double bass as well.
Wait, I can check.
What is that?
No, I was on the game that.
What?
The double bass.
Jack. Wait.
So, Jack, Jane said he needed a sentinel. You literally just walked right by one.
I find it.
I took it by the way, Jane.
Oh, well done.
Let's see. No, there's no videos. So you...
And it says default.
Wait. Right, Jack, this is how you do it, I'm pretty sure. Wait, till you remember. I just focus on your backbone game. We can figure it.
Oh my god, we got a dead lobby. Oh fuck, we got a full lobby!
Let's go. Don't even know how to do it. I did it ages ago. Go demons, yours.
Brother, this is fucking a nightmare. Where we going?
I think demons, yeah.
Jack!
Record. I can't record that on PC. I could. I've got. Oh wait, I don't know if it goes to YouTube gods or no. I think as long as you don't stream too long on YouTube, it's okay.
What? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
Why is there so much kids? I think you get that, Jack. You need to slide a bit. Nah. You're chilling.
Did you?
No way. Yeah.
I'm measuring it.
Falling and got
Oh my
picked up.
god, you did. Jack, what have you done?
If Phil died falling and
For what?
Hey, look. That's like the odds of that, man. Back to vodka again. We should go it. Wait. Something like that. It's got to be something in here, surely. Wait, home. Let's see what's here.
The fuck?
What do you mean not? What's this? Achievement.
Which...
Of course, I'm an affiliate. Stream for 4 hours. I think I complete that one. Stream on 4. I think I complete that one. To be fair,
How much you got? How much you got?
My streams are 6 hours. I don't know.
How's you got 25 followers? I've got over that. I've got 100.
I used to have 200. You should download. Just go on Twitch on your like.
What are you trying to download?
Twitch. Should I do Twitch stuff?
Yeah, you can get the code. Don't be a nonce. Guys. Copy that all down.
What are you saying, guys?
Suck my dick.
What?
No.
You click on. I think it's home.
And then learn it. No. You go. No. Go to underneath alerts. Underneath alerts.
It's not alerts. Is it community? Maybe community. Yeah, I've got like way more than you. You can get the streaming on different days, man. You can get the stream for 4 hours. Easy. Yeah. If you streamed right now and then streamed for 4 hours, you'd be fine. You only have to stream till 10 o'clock if you stream for 4 hours.
What the fuck, Tom?
Right, let's turn your VODs on. Let's figure out how to do it. Channel. What's brand? Featured content. Oscar's gay. How'd you date Oscar? Or is it actual Oscar? The person.
Oh my god, I remember this. Bro.
TBM with cookies. Whoa. Caught. Here's your cookies.
Where's me?
That's it.
Wait, so Jack, you blocked me on what's it called?
Is that Henry?
You blocked me on WhatsApp because Junior is my doing.
Basically. I remember this. I was watching your stream.
But and then
he's not really nice to you.
should have seen him in the tourney. Wait.
You're crazy, yeah. Okay. That sure shows.
Junior, we used to think he's a fucking dog.
Bro, why do you always ever get Junior involved, man? Just leave him out.
Okay, we shut up. You get him.
Junior, you just literally...
Just because
When?
Junior gifted you, you're on his side.
What?
Exactly.
What you guys even saying? I would just...
Your mum!
Please.
What you should hear me? My voice is definitely a lot deeper. Controller.
Are you phoning someone?
I actually can't find this video thing. This might be it. Oh wait.
My
Oh
God,
my
where
God,
are
you're
you? I'm go.
Like, go. I want to see the one I clipped.
Go
I want to see the one I clipped.
There's no way I nearly hit that.
I remember this.
I'm doing
I found how to do
I've
it.
been
Yeah.
so have I. Anyone got a medkit?
Yeah.
Go to video producer.
Need that.
Yeah.
Chuck it up here.
Alright, cool. Where's up here?
70,
We're getting
70,
full
70.
keyed.
I gifted you this skin. I gifted you this skin. I remember.
Drino drop. They're cheaters, I swear.
Squeakers are getting cheated on right now. More like clicks.
When me.
I just have to add my phone number, but apparently it's...
No.
Right, I think I know how to do it, Jack.
I was offline then.
I actually don't have any copyright strikes. That's crazy. I thought I would have copyright strikes from all years ago playing my video.
I remember you told me to clip this.
Nah, Reese, I hit the nastiest piece of my life. I wanted you to clip it.
That's what the highlights.
But the sad thing is, we're never gonna go back to this. I'm so sad. I remember this. I remember day by day.
Alright. That's the one thing that's actually got views. It's crazy.
4 years ago,
Yeah, look at this, Junior. 5 an hour, 5.5. And then 5.5. Both of them are 5.5, basically 6 hours.
Watch my share screen. Watch my share screen. How do I get to that? My channel. Channel. And what? I saw my here on them. I remember I did so much face cams. Fucking hell, I just hear my voice. God, I'm so lucky I didn't get banned. Please tell me. Holy shit, what is my... That was 240 FPS! I remember. Oh, the fucking quality in this video was so shit. This was a clean shot. Just take a look at my binds. Those are the. I've had these binds for a year and a half. Ooh. I laid it on Rush Kids. This is hand cams.
Oh, that looked like a little bit of a lock.
Jack!
So let's pull it back.
Where the fuck's Jack?
Yeah, looked like he accidentally locked onto the guy there. Huh? That guy jumped up and his aim jumped up with him. He's on keyboard and mouse and should have absolutely zero aim assist, but for some reason he does.
Now, the main problem with content.
A business account could help boost your TikTok content. Here's how. Meet Anya. So you run.
Something like this, other than the fact that obviously you're just dragging other people's names through the mud for your own views and money,
Shit, this
is
is
that
me
it
and
just creates a
controller.
genuinely horrible and negative reputation around players when most people have no evidence to the claims that they're making. For years, Peterbot has been nicknamed Cheaterbot, with a huge amount of the general Fortnite audience hating him. Any discussion around him will naturally lead to players dismissing him as a cheater, and don't even get me started on TikTok comments, please. My brain cannot handle them. Funniest of all, anyone who actively attempted to be critical and take a deep dive into these clips, like this video from K-Dog, which is really good, were basically just called a glazer in the comments. It didn't help that the two LANs that Peterbot had attended, the Invitational in 2022 and the Global Championships in 2023, he had stunk him up. But in his defense, the two players he played with, which was Jamper in 2022 and then Bylat in 2023, pretty much quit the game very soon after this, so it seemed like they were towards the end of their career anyway. So I understand how people come to the conclusion that Peterbot is cheating. There's a lot of small signs pointing towards that, but he's very much so overhated. But 2024 would change all of that and see the rise of Repeaterbot. I made that up, yes, it's great. And the greatest run in Fortnite history. After struggling to find a consistent teammate in 2023, Peterbot would finally find the perfect duo, Poyo. Now what was interesting about this duo is that it doesn't really make much sense on the surface. Most teams are made up of one IGL, an in-game leader who makes the calls and is generally the brains of the team, and one fragger who shoots people and often does not have much in the brain department. Now these aren't hard set roles, and most of the time the best teams have an IGL who can frag and a fragger who can IGL. But both Peterbot and Poyo historically have just been fraggers. In the past, these teams have not been so good, mainly due to the brain thing. But Peterbot and Poyo, simply put, are different. Peterbot is an insanely mechanical fighter, the best in the world when it comes to tournaments. No matter the format or tournament, Peterbot is always at the top of the elims and damage leaderboard. Poyo is not an insanely mechanical fighter, but he's just incredibly consistent, similar to Thomas HD. He doesn't miss an edit, he doesn't miss a shot, he always makes good peaks, but most importantly, he is always reliable. So teams with two fraggers often don't work. So how have they gone on to dominate 2024 in a way that we have never seen before? Aura. I wish I was joking. I wish I was, trust me. Their first FNCS run in Season 1 of 2024 was incredible. Out of all of the FNCS rounds, their worst placement was 6th, and they finished off the season with a 2nd in the Grand Finals. Not only this, they were a rare team
fucking season. I grinded script, this was literally
only placing outside of the top 7 in one of the 5 duo cash cups. Most people forget the season for them since they just didn't win the FNCS, but this started the race for the 40 bomb solo cash cup game, where at different points, Peterbot and Poyo both had the world record elims. No matter the tournament, Peterbot and Poyo were on top, but their biggest season was of course Season 2, where they decided to land at Grim Gate, a decision that would set up their entire year for success. They landed at Ship It Station, where they could play for Forecast. Now, knowing they're one of the best teams in the lobby, it was a no-brainer to play for the Forecast Tower, as they'd just be able to win the fight against any teams who wanted to contest for it, and the advantage of being able to see one zone ahead was always worth the risk of taking a fight, in particular when you'd probably win that fight 9 times out of 10. But in Season 2, landing at Grim Gate gave them access to the Cerberus Medallion, which gave them infinite dashes, and the Cerberus Shotgun, which is the most powerful shotgun in the season. Now, historically, Mythic drop spots actually haven't really been that good. It sounds wrong, I understand. You're going to say, how has Stark Season not been the best drop spot of all time? But in high-level competitive tournaments such as Grand Finals, these drop spots just attract too many people to contest, so even if you win off spawn, this usually takes far too much time, and it ruins the start of your game, and of course, you also just run the risk of dying off spawn. But Grim Gate was a little bit different here. Anyone who contested them lost. In scrims, Cash Cups or FNCS qualifiers, it literally did not matter. Not only did they win off spawn, they won everything. Every off spawn, every fight, every match, and every tournament. They won all 4 of the Duo Cash Cups in Season 2, with one of them winning 6 out of these 6 games. And of course, they won their FNCS Grand Finals together, landing at Grim Gate. I already have a full video on this, so I'm not going to go too much in detail on it. For 2 seasons in a row, Peterbot and Poyle have been on top of every single leaderboard, and their reputation as an unbeatable duo was starting to spread. After having such a dominant season and proving that they were literally unbeatable off spawn, they could do pretty much anything and choose any drop spot they wanted going into Season 3, and they decided to choose Redline Rig. This gave them access to the best assault rifle in the game and the Machinist's Medallion, which constantly gave them infinitely recharging shield. This meant that they could trade damage with other teams and easily put themselves above the Storm Surge threshold, and no one else could do that because they didn't have infinitely recharging shields anymore. This was a massive advantage in their early and mid games, and it's no surprise that they managed to win their 2nd FNCS in a row. Now, outside of Grand Finals, they weren't really able to replicate their success of Season 2, where they won every single Cash Cup, as this time they had a little bit more inconsistent results. But it's really funny that people were saying they fell off because they didn't win every single tournament, which just shows how high their peak was this year. And you know, they got that aura apparently. So coming into Season 4, there was no online FNCS, as this season held the FNCS Global Championship, the biggest event of the year, held on LAN, where Peterbot had to play on a PC that was not his. Due to their unbelievable dominance across 2024, his reputation as Cheaterbot only grew stronger, so he knew he'd have to finally prove himself on LAN. Throughout the entire year, they've been coached by Razaru, who played a huge part in their success. Together, they all cooked up a crazy game plan that combined all of the different strategies that they've used throughout the year. Just like the last 2 seasons, Peterbot and Poyle decided to land at the best drop spot on the map, the Raft. Here, again, they could access the best loot in the game, the Emma Frost's Mythic Burst AR and the Emma Frost Reveal Medallion. The medallion highlights any player nearby every 50 seconds, which is insanely overpowered to have literal wall hacks during the game. You know, the Hood kind of calls this ironic, because the player nicknamed Cheaterbot is using a wall hack medallion. Anyway, immediately after looting, they then rotated south to the Forecast Tower, similar to what they did in Season 1, which allowed them to see always one zone ahead. Then they went for the bunker if the zone wasn't max distance, which gives them insane loot and the ability to modify their weapons, and then finally they'd go back to Loot Island, which gives them even more loot and the ability to harvest full materials, which was a massive part of their strategy in Season 3. Most importantly, the fact that they had Forecast and the Loot Island meant that they could just stay in Storm and use the launch pad on top of the island combined with Flowberry Fizz, or the rift below at a very specific time. Just before the 6th zone appeared, if they used either of these, they would be high into the sky when the 6th zone appeared, so they would know exactly where to land. But since they have Forecast, they can see one zone ahead, so they would know exactly where 7th zone was, so they could just essentially rotate from the 4th zone when the Loot Island spawns, all the way to the 7th zone with max materials, skipping so many rotates, which obviously gives them a massive advantage over everyone else. Now, the Global Championship was a 2-day event, with 6 games on each day. And in all 6 of the games, how did they get all of this uncontested every single time?
Excuse me.
Going into the largest Fortnite tournament since 2019,
FNCS Global Championship.
No one was predicting Miro and Cooper to take home the title. But how did a player who's repeatedly quit the game and one of the least experienced players in the lobby beat all of the world's best players? Going into the first day of the event, they needed to be top 25 in order to qualify to the finals. And whilst I was at the event, I was consistently checking who was in the qualification range using the sponsor of today's video, OperaGX. I first installed the browser because they paid me to do so, but it's actually just become my main browser ever since. Their quick import feature made it simple to import all of my data, like browsing history, bookmarks, cookies, from my other previous browser in seconds, which made the transition effortless. Unfortunately, the same couldn't have been said for Cooper and Miro's upper bracket day 1 performance. There's about 200 metal at Rumble Ruins, and all of the brick is incredibly slow harvesting. You'd think that there's trees all around and this would keep them maxed woods, but this drop spot is in the center of the map, so they repeatedly had to use this material on rotation to ensure they weren't getting tagged from the many teams around them. Like the entirely grey superhero outfits they decided to wear, OperaGX also has almost unlimited customization. I added ChatGPT to my sidebar to help me with creating this video. You can also find tons of mods in the GX store, such as Hampter. You can customize the background music, keyboard sounds, opening and closing tab sounds, the theme, the color of the browser, dedicated wallpapers, and you can disable and enable individual modifications in the mods menu available from the sidebar. You can also limit how much RAM or CPU OperaGX uses, which has been super useful creating this video since I often have a browser, multiple editing apps, and Fortnite open at the same time. Better performance was definitely needed on day one for Rerun Cooper, not only on the leaderboard, but for the entire server, as it was incredibly laggy, making it really difficult for them, and really anyone else, to deal Storm Surge damage. Cooper's main Storm Surge strategy was using bushes on top of their drop spot, and in game number 3, this was used against them by Axeforce and Robab, who surprised them out of the lobby. Luckily, with Opera GX's Game Corner, new game releases will never be a surprise. You can easily see upcoming games in the release calendar, and even put notifications on for titles you're interested in. If you're interested in Opera GX, you can use my link in the description or pinned comment to download it today, and thank you very much to them for sponsoring this video. For Rerun Cooper, they were below the Storm Surge threshold at some point in all 5 of the games, and didn't manage to have a single game into the top 10 of placement. At the end of day 1, they ended up in 28th out of 50 teams, narrowly missing out on the top 25 threshold that would have qualified them to the finals. This now meant that they had to play in the lower bracket in day number 2, their last chance to qualify to the finals.
Cooper, I love him to death, man, but he was so nervous. Like, he's actually so nervous. So I got in his head. I told him, like, bro, like, it's not that hard.
Rerun Cooper's last 2 games of day 2 only netted them 7 points in total. Thankfully, they had secured enough points in their first 3 games to make it to the top 25 and qualified to the finals. In the majority of these scuffed games, they ended up in the congested side, stuck behind so many players due to their late rotations. However, on the flip side, the one game that they placed into the top 10 was the one game they rotated extremely early and got much more of a central position on some of the earlier zones. This gave them such freer rotations. However, even this game was messy. Miro aims his rocket ram too high into the sky and gets obliterated from the lobby, and as a result, Cooper clutches up 54 additional points as a solo. This is the only game they managed to get into the top 10 across both days, and without it, they would have ended up in 31st place and not even qualified to the finals. All 10 of their games were incredibly messy, often heavily relying on solo clutching, but surely this playstyle can't win them a $4 million global championship.
Better hurry up. So it was pitch black, middle of the night. Where are we going? We saw this tree, but it wasn't just any tree. It was the tallest tree ever. Pine cones like spikes, footballs. I think I found one. I got a stick for you. And then we walked and walked and kept on walking until Mom couldn't walk anymore.
Do you want me to carry you?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was actually Cammy, but it was too disrespectful not to include in this video. Miro and Cooper are fine. They're landing at Rumble Ruins uncontested again. One thing that I cannot state enough is how bad this drop spot truly is. I landed here in a third-party tournament with Refsguard, and one of the biggest problems we found that there were absolutely no hard mats. Cooper says it best.
What do I get like my hards? You don't. There's none.
So how did they play off of a drop spot with horrible materials? In this game, the zones pull to the west, so they stay inside of the POI, racking up Storm Surge damage for quite some time. Just before the 4th zone appears, they leave this area with 84 and 94 builds respectively, and almost 0 metal. After using some builds on rotation, they position themselves below Loot Island, waiting for it to spawn. It's super important to be the first ones to land on top of the island to claim as much space as possible. However, they weren't aiming for the additional 15 points for capturing it. Instead, they were going for the plethora of additional materials and loot scattered around the island and in the vault. While one one of the duo farms, the other looks for storm surge damage, and from the vault, Nero is able to get almost max metal, making up for the horrible amount in Rumble Ruins. With a max 6-zone pool, they can freely launchpad when the zone starts to move, as everyone else is rotating at this exact same moment. Plus it's laggy as shit, so no one can hit them. Their 8th-zone rotate is also relatively difficult. However, they rocket ram from behind a second box to ensure they're covered from as many angles as possible, and intentionally land in the storm to make sure other teams don't land on their head using the rocket rams. They can do this since Cooper can heal the damage up they just took using the slap splashes. This game is set up almost exactly the same as their second place from game 1 of day 2, so to not choke the rotation, Miro rocket rams directly ahead on their next rotation rather than going too high into the sky and getting beamed. Their materials are starting to run dry, and if they die here in first, they'll only gain 10 points. Noticing they're almost out of materials, they position themselves diagonally above another team's tarp. Cooper sets up a pre-edit play and Miro jumps in. As soon as they get the knock, they make sure their back was protected so the same thing doesn't happen to them, and Cooper finishes off the second player. With the slap splashes and slurp juices they snagged from those refreshes, they played their time in the storm, using the final charge of the rocket ram to land at the front side of the circle. This is where things get messy. Miro edits player down from on top of their tarp, picking up a second elim. Cooper has 2 builds left and runs straight into a cluster of players by himself, picking up another 2 additional elims and some materials. A desperate but required play given the amount of mats he had. He drops to low ground and picks up a crucial knock onto Poyo before getting one pumped by Sphinx. Still up above, Miro makes a beautiful mantle play to get the surprise onto Seti, resulting in a final 1v1 between him and Sphinx. But yeah, he just dies to fall damage. The pre-edit refresh they got turned their game 1 from a 10-point 21st into an 84-point second place, resulting in them currently being second with 5 games to go. However, different zone pools in game 2 changed their strategy completely. The third zone pulls to the northwest, so Cooper and Miro rotate to this hill at the edge of the jungle. From here, they have vision on all of the players rotating into the edge of the circle, yet because they're still distance from the storm, they have a relatively free rotation if they need to move to the northwest later on. If you've watched my zone priority video, you'll know this is a medium priority position. The result of this is that they're around 800 damage above the storm surge threshold when it pops. But you may have noticed they didn't go for the loot island in this game, so they can't re-harvest there for extra materials. The northwest of the map is notoriously bad for mats, and the 91 builds they have each won't be enough to last them to the end of the game, so where do they replenish these? With the northwest 5th zone pool, they make a great rotation down to the edges of these cliffs, cutting off line of sight from the few teams in the directions that they're heading. However, of course, people still shoot them in the back, resulting in them using a large amount of these materials that they previously had. Knowing they have to save as many materials as possible, they use their rocket rams in the earlier rotations to ensure they make it as deep into the game as possible. But when landing, they always ensure to create multiple boxes to play around. You may think this is counterproductive as this wastes more materials, however this stops them getting sprayed by other players in the lobby, which would waste more materials in the long run, and it gives them plenty of angles to look for elims. This is some of the secrets to their success and repeatedly allows them to get elim after elim. In the endgame, they similarly create these multiple boxes to work from and then either rocket ram or sprint to the front of low ground. Once they're almost entirely out of builds, they don't hesitate to run straight at players' walls, double spraying with their ARs to get in and pick up elims. You'd think this play looks too stupid and risky to work, but this is 2 matches in a row that this style of play has completely saved their game. It's risky, but it's the only one that they can make at that point. They make a great attempt to win the game, picking up another elim as they go, but fall short and finish this match in second place for 2 games in a row. They're on top of the leaderboards with 4 games remaining. But in my eyes, their game 3 was the point that I realized they were close to unbeatable. A 5th with 5 eliminations. With a very similar zone to the previous game, they find themselves unable to get a refresh prior to the 6th zone and are left re-harvesting scraps of materials on the dead side of the circle. On rotation to the next zone, the minimal builds the duo have are stripped away by the players all around them. With 5 builds, no additional heals, and below the storm surge threshold, almost every duo on the planet would die here. This would be a 20-minute match for 0 points gained, but they aren't any other duo. They double pick spikes to the floor of a duo's box, and through the mess and lag, Cooper, with 0 builds and 16 HP, manages to pick up an Elim onto Chari. But this refresh isn't enough. With the additional materials, Miro hunts down his duo Giras, and although he doesn't get the Elim, the additional loot is refreshed and all his. This fight is a perfect example of their confidence. Chari and Giras literally ran away from them in their own builds, which set Miro and Cooper up with a playable loadout. Many people said they were lucky with where the zones pulled, and I don't necessarily disagree with this. However, this next Elim is probably the most lucky one of the entire tournament. Pink is tarping on the hill above where Cooper and Miro are boxed, but through the sky flies Bryce using a rocket ram. He's heading straight for their box when another player bumps him with his own rocket ram, misdirecting his trajectory towards Pink. This knocks Pink down to the box beside Miro and Cooper, and Pink the loot llama is wiped out of the game, giving Miro and Cooper significantly more materials. Despite the fact that Miro goes down early here, they go on to place 5th with 5 eliminations and now have a commanding lead over the rest of the leaderboard. Sure, Pixie and Cheatin are close behind, they've just won the last 2 games in a row. However, Miro and Cooper are 86 points ahead of 3rd place with 3 games to go. At this point in the tournament, they'd need to choke massively for any other team to be able to overtake them. They finally pull a zone that isn't near Rumble Ruins, but similarly to their only successful game from the first 2 days, they make an early rotate through the jungle, successfully grabbing their combat cache to give them the metal that they're missing. If you've been paying attention, you can probably guess where they go to refarm their wood and brick. With the best loadout they've had all day, they hear a shield crack in a box next to them, and Miro gets an easy knock onto Moneymaker before cleaning up his duo Fanyayan as well. With a difficult hill zone coming up, they end up stuck at the bottom, clustered in amongst other players' builds with little vision, and struggle to get more damage, eventually dropping below the Storm Surge threshold where they'll start to take damage. Similar to a lot of situations, most teams would probably panic here, but staying confident, Miro and Cooper jump straight into the box of PHZ, yet another refresh on their materials and now being above the Storm Surge threshold. The match turns messy as the zone pulls up the mountain, and with minimal materials left, Cooper makes a mistake in dropping down to Miro to split in the Medmis, meaning both players die in the storm. With 2 games remaining, the 272 points they were on meant that they had a 64% chance of winning the tournament. But in reality, they had already won. These 272 points were already more than 2nd place would end up getting after the day was over. Obviously, they did play the last few games out, but they didn't even have to play these 2 in order to take home the trophy. But their win came with quite the criticism. Many people pointed out how 5 of the 6 zones were close to their drop spot, Rumble Ruins, and in turn, 4 of the 6 loot islands spawned almost directly on top of their drop, allowing them to repeatedly be in a position to reharvest materials and have some of the best positioning to rack up the Storm Surge damage. The numbers here don't lie. Out of the 50 duos, they were ranked 14th on zone luck up until the 5th zone. The reality is that their drop spot Rumble Ruins is atrocious. They built a strategy that revolves around the advantages that it had, which are basically just the center map positioning, and capitalized on the good early zones that they had. Since they so heavily prioritized positioning and rotations over materials, Cooper was able to deal the most damage of any players in zones 4 to 8, and this surge damage and positioning repeatedly got In the final game of the biggest Fortnite tournament of 2022, Queasy and Vino unexpectedly switched their drop spot up to land on the current first place team, Camion City.
What is this? What is this? Queasy, Vino are trying to take it by force!
If they win the fight, they win the entire event.
Only win in one way, and that's taking that crown! Vino is here!
The first mistake.
Queasy is here! Down goes City! It's a big trade! It's a one-on-one! He's trying to bait it. He's trying to bait the revive so that way Cammy might peek.
The second mistake.
Breaks through the wall. Shot's gonna be fired! And they do it! Become legends!
In the lead up to this event, Queasy and Vino were undoubtedly the favorites to win it all, and this wasn't the first time that they had fallen at the last hurdle. In the first year or two of Fortnite's release, there was really no competitive structure or practice for players to start improving and getting better. All there were zone rule scrims where you weren't allowed to fight until a certain point of the game. These were often considered horrible, atrocious, unrealistic practice, but this is where Queasy developed a ton of the fundamentals that he knows to this day.
Like I was playing like all the time before, like Arabic customs every single day, like 10+ hours. We just play duo scrims.
This meant by the time he got to his first FNCS finals in Chapter 2 Season 2 back in 2020, he was already an extremely smart and proficient player. Teaming up with Trulex at the time, in their first FNCS Grand Finals, the biggest tournament of the season, they ended up with a second place finish, just narrowly missing out on the championship title. An extremely impressive performance for his first final, but it wasn't a win. Across the next few seasons, the game mode changed from duos to solos, and then officially to trios. Despite making the FNCS finals in every one of these seasons, he wasn't able to consistently place in the top 10, largely due to not having great synergy with the teammates, and having a particularly bad mentality in solos.
I got sniped twice! I got
That was until Chapter 2 Season 6, where he re-teamed up with Trulex and added Juriki to the mix. Queasy and Trulex have already played so many games together that their synergy was unmatched, and in their search for a third player to play with, they had offers from some of the biggest names in the region, but they knew what their team required.
And that same season also we got DMs, me and Truly got DMs from like Tayson and Aqua, and we decided to like just play with Jerky because like he was like the best free builder 1v1 creative player back then, and that's what we needed. And our goal in our head when we wanted to play, we were like, we need this guy. He's gonna be cranking sky limit for hide like every single game, and me and Trulix are just gonna go front and spray, and we're gonna win every game.
They may not have been able to win every game, but they did manage to win 3 of the 12 matches across the weekend, and clearly their confidence in picking up an at the time more unknown player paid off. After narrowly missing out on an FNCS championship by placing second 1 year prior, Queasy had now won his first major Fortnite tournament and was now a one-time FNCS champion. However, as is very common with FNCS championship winning teams, once they've achieved their target, they struggle the next season to continue that grind. They end up placing 15th out of 33 teams and decide it's best to split as a trio. But it wasn't all bad. Queasy ended up then teaming up with Thomas HD and Anas, 2 of the best players in Europe. Yet again, they were predicted as a top team to win it all, and come the Grand Royale, the final tournament of 2021 and Chapter 2, they won the final game with 14 eliminations, unfortunately only placing 3rd overall in the leaderboards, narrowly missing out on the championship title for a second time. But this was a good lesson learned about hard work.
Everyone in that trio, we worked hard, and like obviously not hard enough because like we didn't win.
Vino's story across this time had a lot of similarities. The world really started to learn his name around Chapter 2 Season 7, mid-2021, when he started working in Fortnite coach Destiny Jesus' friend group. Now, self-admittedly, DJ says that even coming into this group, Vino was already a phenomenal solo player, and it only helped him a small amount. He was an extremely talented player, yet was never able to showcase this in a major tournament. However, with DJ's coaching, combined with a friend group of some of the best players in the region, that was all about to change. In the last game of the finals, the entire championship would depend on the final 1v1 between 2 members of that coaching group, Vino and the GOAT of competitive Fortnite, Tayson. Whoever wins the 1v1 wins the tournament.
Have to be Vino going for the win right now in order to catch up. He's going for Erkin as well. If he gets 3, that could be it. He's moving forward, forcing the placement. Tayson on all.
He misses the final shot.
designers. Supercharge your creative ideas with super flexible WordPress hosting. Nice, nice, nice. Big web tech for your business. Ionos.
And let me, from 2021, tell you exactly
Hello?
why that shot was so important.
He completely
Hello?
ended up whiffing, and that was a $30,000 shot.
With Fortnite Chapter 2 coming to an end, Epic Games announced that Trios was no longer going to be the main competitive mode, and instead, the main mode for Chapter 3 would be Duos. Since Queasy had clearly established himself as one of the best in-game leaders in Fortnite, this gave him a large amount of options for picking up a Fragger duo.
Me and Vano were gonna play the first season of Duos.
Jaden.
But I decided to go with Hand. In my head,
I'm
it
back.
wasn't good enough. But like, he didn't have the placements to prove it, you know? But I knew he was good.
Do you know how to
In
do
my
the
head, like, it was
streamer
either
thing?
him or Han, but Han had the placements to prove it, so I decided to go with Han.
And this seemed to be the right call. Their playstyle was extremely
Yeah, how do I do it?
dominant, and very similar to the playstyle that won Queasy the FNCS in Chapter 2 Season 6. They would go on to dominate Chapter 3 Season 1, and it all came down to a final solo clutch that Hen had to
just
pull
so
out in
how
order to win the entire tournament.
And has it 1v1 2.
Are you outside?
This is for the European Championship.
What are you doing outside?
To take down walks, solidify it. He has
Oh.
points already, but do it in style, my friend. The VR is just in your grasp. And
Who's watching like Pro Am or something?
and he wins the European FNCS.
But all good things must come to an end. In the next season, Chapter 3 Season 2, Aqua, who many people considered the
Sound
best
cool,
hype
Jaden.
player, returned to competing, picking up Vino as his duo. There's only room for one team on top of the lobby, and Aqua's style of taking it was incredibly aggressive, often just 50-50ing whoever was there. This very aggressive strategy won them 2 of the 6 games on the first day. Unfortunately for Queasy and Hen, since they hadn't practiced this much this season, a massive change in removing the cars midway through FNCS meant they really struggled with far zones as they hadn't practiced these. And even when they did have a good game, Aqua and Vino outclassed them on height. They ended day 1 in 41st place, whilst Aqua and Vino topped the leaderboards. They did have one of the best comebacks on day 2, firing all the way up to the 8th place on the leaderboard. However, still not a stellar finish for 2 previous seasons champions. And no surprise, the team at the top of the leaderboard was the other height dominant team, Aqua and Vino. But to everyone's surprise, this duo would split in the next season. The reason Aqua had initially quit is because he repeatedly had a bunch of hand and wrist issues, which meant that he wasn't able to play the game for extended periods of time without lots of pain. To coincide with this, after the disappointing finish of placing 8th amongst a host of other personal reasons, Hen and Queasy also split. With Queasy looking for a new fragger, personally I thought I was the best in the world, but apparently I wasn't the best option.
I was actually gonna go play with Jerky. When we like decided to play, I was literally on Twitter making a tweet, Queasy X Jerky, Shifty Shafts all season or whatever. And then I got a DM from Veno like, yo, are we playing? And I was like in call with Jerky. I was like, well, I just got a DM from Veno, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I want to play with you, but I have to play with Venom. And I literally just switched
So you wanna
to
be
Venom 50 slash all season.
You see, the playstyle and construction of Queasy and Hen and Aqua
you
and Vino are
fucking
relatively
idiot
similar.
bum
Queasy
crap.
and Aqua were both IGLs that were
What
very
stream
height
you doing on
dominant,
that
and
drop
Hen
map?
and Vino were both really talented fraggers who knew how to play height as well.
Oh, that's
In my
you.
opinion, Vino was an upgrade over Hen, and Queasy was an upgrade over Aqua,
Did you?
essentially meshing the 2 best players
Do you
of
want me to
previous
screenshot
2
it?
seasons FNCS champions. In their first season together, they showed truly how dominant they were in the duo cash cups, placing 6th, 2nd, 1st, and then another 2nd. These matches are lower level than an FNCS Grand Finals and are significantly easier to win, but repeated performances like this showed that they clearly had the capabilities to win the FNCS Grand Finals this season. However, come to the finals and yet again they fall short, ending up 3rd. You see, they were easily able to dominate the lower level cash cups, however in finals they weren't able to play this exact same playstyle as things were definitely different. This season they were only able to get 1 victory royale. And on average, you're going to need 2.4, so somewhere between 2 and 3 wins to actually win the entire FNCS. Now this depends on playstyle, but since these are 2 height dominant players whose strategy largely revolves around winning games, the fact that they only got a single victory royale clearly showed that their game plan needed some work. A disappointing finish, just missing out on the championship title yet again, but the next season would be the FNCS Invitational, the first in-person event Fortnite has had in 3 years
you can't
since
play
the World
to
Cup
your
in
dad's?
2019. 2015. One of the main reasons they were predicted to win is because there were minimal height teams in this lobby. If you looked at the player list, not many of these teams were really dominant height teams. The two main other contenders were Aqua and Reason and Tayson and Chapix. However, these two teams were fighting each other off spawn, resulting in them not being in every single endgame, opening up high ground for Vino and Queasy to run away with it. But there's one thing that they hadn't counted on. One of Europe's best teams, Cammy and Seti, had been switching around their playstyle all year. Historically, in the endgame, they'd played low to mid-ground layers and tried to dominate these. This is a great playstyle if you want to consistently get deep into endgames. However, it's incredibly difficult to win games from this position. It was possible to win a tournament, but without a lot of massive point games, it was almost impossible to be consistent enough to win. They took a complete 180 on their entire playstyle and hired Coach Bloodex to teach them how to play height. Now equipped with a full package being able to play any layer in endgame, they dominated.
High ground was taken away by Cammy and Seti. All they have to do is close out this game. Ascent and try to take control, try to fight for the high ground, but it's not enough. Cammy and Seti take their fourth victory royale.
Now it's even easier to sell for free on eBay. I was thinking, maybe I should sell that juicer we've used a grand total of once. Or the shirt I've been saying I'll wear for the last 2 years, but never have. Or that tiger pushing the dog box out every time he's in the lounge. Oh, is that it again? No, Bertie!
With new AI listing features and simple delivery, it's now
Jaden.
even easier to sell for free on eBay. Download the app now. eBay.
Jaden.
Things people love. T's and C's apply. Excludes vehicles.
Queasy and Vino had managed to keep up throughout the majority of the tournament, keeping them close behind in second. But unfortunately, we already know how this tournament ended. For teams like this, winning is all that matters, and the post-game interview says it all.
Wait, can I see your process
as well, Vida, of what you boys achieved here at Invitation.
No. The next season was
person to a game or what?
And this remained duos keeping Queasy and Vino together. The top two
When's
placement in
start?
FNCS's
At
first major
30.
will qualify them for the Global
30,
Championships at the end of the year. And I think with the disappointment of the FNCS Invitational, combined with this opportunity to qualify, motivation would be at an all-time high. But it turned out that wasn't the case.
First
You
of all,
cross
I
your
didn't work hard enough,
position
that's
inside
my
you.
opinion. I hated this
Where
game so
the
much
fuck
regardless,
is it?
so,
Like, what
in my
is
head, I was
this?
like,
Like,
oh, I'm gonna get chopped. There's nothing I can do about it. So I didn't even bother. I think if I played, we would have won that season easily. So I kind of got a reality.
They were able to scrape a 4th place finish, however missing the qualification for the Global Championships. But after this FNCS, Vino actually wanted to drop Queasy and to team up with Cammy instead. Once the news eventually got back to Queasy, he realized he had been complacent in that previous season and had not put in the work required. In a complete parallel to Cammy and Seti, the team that had just beat them at the FNCS Invitational, they hired Coach Bloodex to give them a game plan and to figure out how to truly play the Grand Final. Throughout Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 2, Queasy and Vino put in more work than is healthy or sustainable. This season's FNCS had a format that had 3 weeks. Based on your performances here would dictate if you either went through to the Grand Finals, if you came in the top 40, or if you came 41st down till 90th, you would go to the Surge Week, which was essentially a semi-finals. Across the 3 weeks, they placed 3rd, 1st, and 7th, meaning they were significantly ahead of everyone else on the series point leaderboard, skipping Surge Week and easily being the top team predicted to win this season's FNCS Grand Finals. The following 12 games were about to be the best performance in Fortnite history. The entire season, they've been landing at Kenjutsu Crossing. No one dared contest them, however come finals, Dre and Darky end up landing to these houses on the left side here, cutting off a huge amount of their loot. For most teams, this would disadvantage you massively, but this almost seemed to give Vino and Queasy a boost. This was Dre and Darky's first
Jackie, remember
Grand Finals, so naturally they're a little bit nervous. This is something that top teams can capitalize on. For reference, this is Queasy's 15th FNCS Finals and Vino's 7th. All they did was grab a small amount of loot and
was I not even share screening the whole time, Junior?
This was a massive mistake. Once they arrived here, they realized that Jalen was already holding an angle onto this area, which combined with Queasy and
Jack, I need to show you something.
on a small island that they couldn't escape from. With minimal minimal time investment, Queasy and Vino managed to pick up 2 easy eliminations.
You remember
Now,
this?
since
Do you
each
remember
elimination
this?
is worth 4 points in a grand finals setting, this was already a massive start for them, and they
I've
barely
seen all your
invested
clips.
any ammo or time into this fight.
We didn't even want to.
You haven't seen this one, have you?
We just sat there milking
We
them
forgot
every
about
game.
this one.
But why was this team landing here? And more importantly, why is Queasy and Vino landing here? Well, Trey and Darky wanted to ensure that they could get kinetic blades, the only source of mobility this season, from the guaranteed spot to the south. The reasons are the same for Queasy and Vino, but they're much smarter. You see, the main building here has 10 kinetic blade spawns, and there are 2 different rarities of kinetic blades. The rare, which is blue, and the epic rarity, which is
43
purple.
people
Now,
have
the
watched this
purple
clip.
has 3 charges, whereas the blue has 2, and with the large amount of kinetic
Did you
blade
see what
spawns
this one
here,
is?
this gives them a higher chance of both of them having
It's got
the
water
purple
all
rarity.
over my
Now, if you look
desk.
at distribution on the
got
map,
water
this
all
is
over
the
your
only
desk?
spot that has this amount
Here's some
of
water.
kinetic blade spawns, meaning they have a massive advantage. Now, you
Wait.
might not think one more charge is that big of an advantage, but when it comes to endgame, it absolutely is. With 5 eliminations and a 5th place finish in game number 1, they were in 3rd place. But it would be game 2 where the purple kinetic blades power would truly be shown. In Fortnite, there are 4 storm circles that move. The 9th, 10th, 11th, and the final one, the 12th. First moving zone, which is the 9th circle, Queasy and Vino can use the purple kinetic blades to travel the entire distance without even touching the floor. If they only had the blue, they would have to drain some materials boxing up halfway through this zone. And these materials are extremely important because they use these to actually tunnel a little bit deeper into the 10th zone. Now, the next moving
Jack,
zone
remember this?
continues to move in the exact same direction, and because they've tunneled this a little bit deeper,
Remember
they are now
this?
ahead of every other team. But why would you even bother wasting your materials to do this when you have kinetic blades to fly through the sky? Well, that's exactly the problem. Everyone at this moment is using their kinetic blades to fly through the sky. And this means there's a huge risk of you landing at the front side of zone, the side of zone, and another player landing on your head. So to avoid this, you need to be the last player to use your kinetic blades, which is why Queasy and Vino stayed here, invested a little bit of materials, because all of the other players in the lobby are using their kinetic blades to fly, but since they've tunneled further into the zone, this means they have more time before the zone catches up to them, meaning they don't have to use their kinetic blades as quickly as everyone else. But there's another way in which this is genius. Because they're the last ones to use their kinetic blades, if they shoot out height right before they rotate, they ensure that not only are they the last team using their kinetic blades, they're the highest in the sky. But here's the real Kenjutsu Crossing secret. Remember those 3 kinetic blade charges rather than the 2 that the majority of other players have in the lobby? Well, when you combine that with the timing of being the last one to use your kinetic blades, and the fact that you've just shot out high ground, this means that you're guaranteed to be the highest team in the lobby with no one above you, which means that when they fall down, they are always guaranteed to land on height with no one landing on them from above them. From then on, Queasy stays all the way up, and in the final moving zone, Vino drops down to frag out and get the final few eliminations and clean up the first victory royale of the weekend. Despite winning this game, they're not actually in first place yet, as they're behind Blatcha and Mixon by 1 single point. They were off to a great start, but that was about to all change. Game 3 would be their worst of the day. After Vino goes down from an unfortunate fight in the mid game, they struggle with low materials in the end game, and after getting a refresh at back zone, just kind of died to the storm. Still, a 15th with 5 eliminations keeps them in 2nd place. But this is when one of the most insane win streaks in Fortnite history was about to begin. Game 4, rather than the second moving zone continuing the same direction as the previous, it pulls back over itself. Since they were already on second height and the team is just connected to them by a few walls, they can easily chop this out. Given this is the start of the 10th zone, the exact same time that they took high ground in game number 2, Queasy can triple katana up into the sky and connect to some old builds, guaroteeing them height. Whilst Queasy stays up on high ground to secure the win with a heal off, Vino drops down to disrupt the players below and wipes them all out of the lobby, securing their 2nd victory royale of the tournament. With confidence high and the momentum rolling, they make aggressive plays in game number 5 to secure themselves a refresh on materials before the moving zones. However, they get overconfident and make a mistake. In the 9th zone, the first moving zone, they see no one has established on high ground, so they land on it to claim it, in the process using a ton of those materials they got earlier on. But remember, they usually take height in the 10th zone, and taking height this early means someone can use their own strategy of chopping them out against them. But don't count them out yet. They already know how to play against their own strategy. They land at the front side of the zone, and since they are the 2nd highest team, height has built on top of them. This means that they can just edit them out and spray them as they're falling out of the sky. And when is this done? the start of the 10th zone, the exact same time they've claimed high ground in their other 2 wins. Since Queasy's using the Shadow Tracker, which by the way is insanely busted, this marks them, so then when Queasy uses his 3 kinetic blade charges to fly into the sky, he can easily find the player who land on his head and one-pump him. Now this game does admittedly get a little bit messy. It's not as clean as the previous 2, but this time when Vino goes down to frag, Queasy joins him as he has no heal-off potential.
Put my hand up, 172
and wins the
people.
2nd game in a row. Prior to the final game on day number 1, they were
I was
already
175th.
117 points ahead of Vanyak and Karmi in 2nd place, and a win
Your
in
mic
game
is kind
6
of
would
bad.
almost put them in an unbeatable
I don't know
position
why.
coming into day number 2. They learned from their previous game. In the 9th zone, they shoot out the high ground team, but because they don't have 3 kinetic blade charges and too many players are kinetic blading through the sky, they do not try to retake high ground and instead just land at the front side of zone and create a bunch of space to work from. They tarp a little bit deeper into zone and set up for their classic high ground retake, but realize they're on a bad layer as there's too many players above them, so after spraying out the height team, decide to rotate only using a single kinetic blade charge. After staggering here for a little bit and letting the zone catch up, they use another single kinetic blade charge to land again at the front side of zone. As they've been doing this, they've slowly elevated to the point that they are now 2nd high ground, meaning that, as you guessed it, yes, the height team has connected on top of their head, giving them the opportunity to chop them out. Now, since they've only been using a single kinetic blade charge on every rotate, at this point it's fully recharged, meaning they can triple blade straight up into the sky and yes, guarantee the highest again. But there is one problem. They have 0 eliminations so far, meaning there's been 0 points in this game where they've been able to get their materials refreshed. With this in mind, Queasy spots materials down in the backside of zone, and after popping a slurp juice, makes an extremely aggressive play to dive straight back down and pick up a bunch of them. He is spotted by other players at the backside of the zone, but the slurp juice he popped earlier keeps him alive, allowing him to get straight back up onto high ground. As always, Vino drops down to frag out on the players down below, and it all comes down to a 2v2. Vino and Queasy versus Cammy and Seti. Vino hears them pop 6 chug splashes down below, which shows that they do not have anything to win the heal off with, meaning Queasy up on top just has to sit there and throw the chug splashes to win the game. However, Seti runs up from the backside of zone and gets a massive tag off onto Queasy. Luckily, the slurp juice he has popped gives him enough HP just to win out this 1v1 as Seti goes down to the storm, giving Queasy and Vino their 4th victory royale of the day, 3 of these being in a row. The most victory royales ever done in an FNCS, which included European players, was Cammy and Seti at the FNCS Invitational when they won 4, and the most in Europe itself is 3. Queasy and Vino have just won 4, with 6 games left to go. But this is where problems may arise. You see, across a 2-day event, teams often change up their strategies off spawn, meaning that Kenjutsu drop spot that they've had so easily on day number 1 may be a completely different story for them on day number 2. If they lose a bunch of games off of spawn, another team could easily overtake them on the leaderboards. Twitter didn't help. Fire Hunter, who was currently in 49th place, 1 away from the bottom after day number 1, replied, "Does he know?" in response to a potential drop map for day 2. Now, Fire Hunter landed at Kenjutsu Crossing earlier in a solo cash cup, a different tournament, so naturally, Queasy and Vino began to think that he was going to contest them on day 2 and ruin their tournament. The nerves definitely got to Vino as he ended up throwing up before game number 7.
But I know, like, Fennel's gonna show up anyway, don't matter if he's nervous or not.
But not only did Fire Hunter not land here, Darky and Drake also left this area, leaving them the entire drop to themselves. Queasy was right. Nervous or not, Vino put on an absolute fragging masterclass, picking up 8 eliminations by himself, making a grand finals lobby look like he's playing some pub Zone Wars match, and winning game number 7. At this point, there was a lot of criticism on the team, however. Most of the zones that they'd played well in were home zones, meaning the zones pooled near their drop spot of Kenjutsu Crossing. However, game 8 was a Breakwater Bay zone, which is the complete opposite corner of the map. And what do you know? Who wins the game? Queasy and Vino. At this point, there's been 8 games played, and 6 of them have been won by Queasy and Vino. They are over 200 points ahead of Moustache and Tayson, who are in 2nd, the current reigning FNCS champions. With 3 games remaining, they were tired, exhausted, and started to lose concentration, making a lot of stupid mistakes. But they had already won the tournament in the first 9 games. They didn't even need to play the last 3. This was undoubtedly the best performance in Fortnite competitive history, and Epic Games continually changing the meta actually was some of the reason that they were so successful.
Like the season before, like the Hammer season, for example, you just grinded like the first month, you learn everything, and then you just like go AFK until grinds. But like this season kept switching and switching and switching, so it was really fun to actually like relearn everything.
But of course, the strategy wouldn't be successful if it wasn't for their insane amount of hard work with Coach Ludix. One of the main things that they put into practice in scrims was ensuring every game was as realistic and as close to their playstyle in grand finals as possible.
We literally tried everything. We didn't go for island one game. We only did a rotation.
Yeah.
We're gonna do.
You wanna have the button?
Loadouts. We're gonna use.
I'm
We didn't
waiting
play
for
any
the friend
SMGs,
request.
pistols. We only played red
Yes,
eyes.
I got
We
it.
just played like
Same.
very like how you were playing grands.
Oh, me by
One of the
mine.
mistakes we also had
I'm
the season
like
before was in
mine.
cash cups. We used to run
Oh.
gold SMG only. You know, we didn't run the red eyes. So in grands,
fucking
when we had
best
red eyes
feeling
on high,
ever.
we couldn't get a refresh.
Watching
Yo.
them
We literally had even Bloodix in the call. Like one of the games we were like 5-5-5 last moving. He was like, he started
I love how
screaming,
it's your one.
split your mass, like you're not playing
'Cause
5-5. And then we went to split mass.
But
you're a party
in
leader, I
the
think.
front and we died.
Of course, coming first and winning
No,
this tournament
it's
not
'cause
only means they're
I-
champions, it means they've
I-
qualified for
I-
the
I-
global
I
championships at the
clicked
end of the year.
escape
A
and I
$4
have a
million
automatic
in-person
friend
event
request, so I
in
just have to-
Copenhagen. Naturally, I asked Queasy whether the grind they put in this season was sustainable for the next 6 months.
Next season, I think I'll put like definitely a lot of time, but I don't think I'd put as much as this season, just because like it's only the win factor, and for Copenhagen, like I'm putting 120% in.
Excuse me, sir. Can I have a moment of your time, please?
What is it?
Okay, wonderful. Have you had a car on PCP or HP between 2015 and 2021?
Yeah.
Have you made a potential check for compensation yet?
I've seen it, but I can never remember my old registration plate, so I never get through the form.
Even better, you don't need your registration
Got another
plate,
friend
you don't
request.
need any forms or anything.
Running down to the third time, take away to the
Your name and a few quick details.
that's not
It's a free online form, which I'm going to give to you now, and it will tell you in as little 60 seconds if you have potential payment compensation. Can we do it now?
What is it?
Okay, you go to financeclaimsexpert.co.uk. Right, David, let's see how much you could potentially be owed.
Hey, that's impressed me, that has. It's found both of them, two of them.
It's over £10,000 you could potentially be owed.
It tells you which ones they are as well. Black Horse and Molten-Ovo, 2021 and 2015. Oh, yeah, guys, go and do it.
Yeah.
4 years?
Wait, Gina, it's giving me an invite,
Wait, hold on.
but I'm not gonna do it.
No.
There's multiple Kinder Bueno packs here. As you see, there's somehow getting them to 10p now. As you see, it's going to be some kind of employee discount, maybe it's some kind of a special voucher, but as you see, these Kinder Buenos normally go for around 20. You're trying to bulk up, but you don't have a clue what to get in the shop. Get this 4,000 calorie weekly food shop from Aldi. Let's go for the carbs. Microwavable rice, penne pasta, some wholemeal bread, some granola. So these are all of the carb sources that's going to help us to give us energy when we're in the gym and when we're training. And now onto the protein, which is going to help us to build muscle. Get some eggs, chicken thighs, 20% fat beef mince, and some protein powder from my protein, of course, code backwards. And now, get that's why we're here. I'm just need to be in with these things. I don't need to. It glows the side picking up the look. It's a nice it's not even she was you heard her scream? Yes. Come in? Both know I can't stop you. Where were you between 10 and 11 this morning? Why? What happened? Of course. I was here. Alone? Yeah. On the side. That's a gift. Really? For who? One of my nieces. You don't have any nieces. I like dolls. That's not a crime. For the terms of your probation, you're not allowed to own children's toys. This is harassment. I think you two should leave. Sit down. Now. Do not move. You had
touch anything or you easily violated him.
Just look at our swings and flames because you've had nuggets in the oven. Or eat them all day. It's room, mate. It's got 100 degrees in it.
Open the window for curtains then. Oi, drop. Drop. I'm on the drop map.
Yeah, but where the fuck? Usually you would know where the where to jump. I'm guessing it's about here.
Alright. Oh, I've got the deadest drop ever.
I've got to go drop for this.
Yeah. Wait, there's a boy behind you. Here. Down the bottom. Yeah, nice, Gino. Key. I'm grabbing guns.
Am I share screen?
No.
Okay,
I got purple sentinel. Yeah, my FPS is terrible.
Yeah, I'm on like 100.
I died. How?
Crack.
Nice.
I don't want to move. Run.
I would run. Yeah, it's purple sentinel. I died. 1 second, Gina. Downstairs.
I was live. No. Superman. And then nothing. Walls kept tumbling down and did with the door. The clouds over the hills from above. And close your eyes, feel like nothing to do. I feel like no. I'm gonna be an optimist about this. I'm gonna be an optimist about this.
So many years, only dogs. Already impressive. Mr. Haslam.
Get to kill me because I wasn't here off spawn. I almost feel nothing.
Cite a picture of my jog my memory. Yes, or no. Come on. Beautiful in his house, inside out. If we so much as find a hair that doesn't belong here, you're going to prison. Do you need details on that, or do you remember what it's like to be a pedophile behind bars?
Found something.
What is it? Thanks, Daddy.
Because you were dead and we didn't fight him off spawn.
Oh, look, jump! Oh, they're here. They're gonna
shoot.
kill.
If they kill, we'll report him.
Can't report it.
What?
I've only got 30-second clips. They don't accept 30-second clips.
You can get the file for the game and send it to you.
Oh yeah.
Almost feel like nothing. But my FPS is so bad.
Yeah, same. I'm 100 and I'm on 50 ping.
At least you're on 100. I can't even run 100. And my FPS
Right there. Should I shoot? Should I shoot?
No.
Not even one tag.
That's a bot, you know.
No, right there. He's farming. It was right there.
Just act, like pretend like you're accidentally trying to shoot a bot, but you think it's the person.
Oh, he's coming up to you, I think. No, he's below me.
Who's on who? Fuck, I need a lap. I need a oh. Who's on? If you shake your mouse when you're farming, if your game doesn't stutter. Right, no, back.
Yeah, mine does.
Yeah, it warms up your game, so.
Share screen, I can't call. Alright. There you go, Jaden.
Well, have we known about the comms?
It says phone is charging. Or.
Isn't.
Alright. Did you try drop map? Yeah.
I did. I got perfect drop for top. Perfect drop.
I didn't. Got a bit high.
They're fighting. Who's on? They don't know I exist.
It's long no Junior. Jaden.
What the fuck?
They're shooting you.
Yeah, they're fighting me. Dickhead, I didn't shoot you.
This one? I don't think it is this one.
Yeah, it is this one. No, it's this one. This one shot me.
63.
No, don't kill him. Don't kill him. He tried to shoot
him.
me. Oh, good. What a dickhead, though.
Little bro really tried to hit me. Is he mental?
How is it? And why did he shoot me and I hit him?
Crack!
Why are you fighting them? Don't rush.
They shot us and they're in a fight.
Yeah, you
so they were already fighting, so they're griefing. Behind that wall.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to fight griefers unless they're not fighting you. 24. I'm dipping.
I really do not trust these guys.
Which one behind us?
On me.
I'm looking at one. I'm looking at the figure.
He's aiming at you.
We were bigger, pushing each other to the limits.
There's a lot of kids.
Smoking, burning, joking, burning liquor. Buying, so we were meant to make a steady figure. Once I was 11 years old, Daddy got me go. What the fuck?
My bad. Did he shoot at us?
No. I don't.
He just tried to then.
If they shoot us, I'm cracking them. I'm gonna walk into their butts. That's a lot of mats
Come over
wasted. That, yeah, okay. Woo, 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 woo. I'm so happy when
Should we kill him?
He tried to shoot me when I was aiming at him. No, don't kill him. He did shoot me. He did shoot me.
No, he is fighting.
How is it?
Why do you think he's fully boxed? He's killing me.
Alright. These guys are getting a report.
Come on.
Dead? Oh, he's in my butt. I'm reporting him.
Yeah, do it. They start the fight.
Nah. Shooting kids.
I don't know him. What is it? I found something at Drew's house. Sylvia's teddy bear. Drew's our guy. He took her. Can you ID this item? Oh, it's a teddy bear. Her, is that a Lydia kid you're asking about? Yes. She's 8 years old. Have you ever seen this item before?
You broke ass cat. That shit you call out. Fuck you and your friends. Yo, Jack, did you clip the last 30 seconds?
You're lying.
Huh?
Did you clip the last 30 seconds? Fucking first place.
What is it?
The connection.
No, not a chance. I am done talking.
It's me.
I've tried to find a way to become the best Scottish Fortnite player. This year I switched to Optic. Climbed, grinded my mechanics, played as many solo cash cups as I could, and even played over 100 hours of solo squad rank. Denmark has Tom's HD, Serbia has Queasy, England has Dino, but
Let's jump and cross our X, because mine's a bit...
But I just couldn't gain enough power ranking in one season to be #1 in the country, and in all honesty, I've kind of just given up on the goal. It was taking up so much of my time to practice, and it really affected the amount of...
Can I see your position and size on cross our X?
12 times FNCS Grand Finalist and ranked 41st in Europe, reps
No, the size changes on different ones.
All we would need to do is get over 420 points in 10 games, and we'll make it to the finals, where I'd gain enough power ranking to be ranked #1 to finally achieve my goal and officially call myself Scotland's best player for this season, because there's only been one tournament so far. Our game plan was simple. In game 1, we drop at Refsgaard's regular drop spot at the gas station, wipe any teams contesting us, grab the forecast tower to show us where every zone is, and just play to win. But secretly, I wanted to out-frag a tier 1 pro.
You need to ready up.
Yep.
I could change my name tomorrow.
Full box. You've yoinked that, haven't you? Nice. I can hear your keyboard cooking. Nice.
God, I hate grief, it's got no life.
60. I did.
20.
Right about now, the end of the game. Full infection.
Nice.
Next.
Okay.
What up to?
The police department, prostitutes, attorneys are Mr. Ice Cube, and easy motherfucking E. The other. Ice Cube, take the motherfucking stand. Do you swear to tell the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so says the black ass? You goddamn right. Won't you tell everybody what the fuck you gotta say? Fuck the release straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad cause I'm brown. I know the other colours, so the police think that I have the authority to kill a minority. Fuck that shit cause I ain't no one. But this nigga with the back and the gun, they hate it on the front. Come on! Major, with a little bit of a golden page, sits on my calf. Jack! Kinda. Benzo, be the police at a shake when you heard. Jack!
He's lying. I told Dr. Nigga she's ever taken by someone to disable a tail light. He has, I know it. Now it's starting to call the detective.
I've seen big boy Jaden looking at my screen.
That's me.
No. Yeah, it's Jaden, you're not straight.
Shitting those kids too. When the kid came in my box, I hit him.
I'm an outlaw.
I hit him 100, by the way. I hit him 100. And I hit him 80 white. He was so close to being dead.
I didn't even have a sentinel. I got clipped, to be fair.
Bro, when you started shooting at you, fucking wait, I'm doing it. When you started shooting. What?
You're the chosen one. You were floating in the air.
Had to come pro, float in the air. Did you really close up? Man's getting off. We got a scrim in 20 minutes.
Oh.
What?
Nothing.
Put porno on.
Totally not.
Put it on. Go on. Go on.
No, it's right at the top of my taps and everything.
So, it's in 24 hours. Got my money? Oh, right. You know what? Just give me till next Friday. I'll have it for you. All right, then. That's good, OJ. That hurt? No. Yeah, that's what happens, man. Oh, my God. Where's my money? You gonna give me my money? Where's my money, man? Where's my money? Morning. Good day to you, sir. Wait a minute. What the hell? Oh, my God.
What?
Alright, let's go to the bank. You get one free revenge shot at me. Okay, but I'm not gonna tell you when it's coming. No! Tell me when it's gonna come. Don't do something. Anything. Look, I'll do it. I'll do it fast. Look, I'll do it even worse. No, look how hurt I am. We're even now.
The day Fortnite was broken. In 2020, I queued into a Fortnite match, but little did I know that it was cursed. When I loaded in, the game forced me to play as a default skin. I wasn't able to sprint, use my pickaxe, or even build. I thought it was just a glitch and that it would eventually once I got onto the bus. Once I finally got on there, I figured the game was going to send me back to the lobby, but after 20 seconds of waiting, this happened. Oh man, what? I'm back! So I hopped out of the bus, but I couldn't deploy my glider. The player count wasn't going down at all, and there was no kill feed. All the other players in the map were bugged too, and they decided to back out. So then I came up with an idea. I just gotta go center map and like kind of predict where the storm is going. Once I made to the center island, the leave match button popped up on my screen. It could only mean one thing. I won! The day you wouldn't chat. You wouldn't chat. Here are laws that every kid should know.
Some bitches up.
Fuck the police. Fuck the police. little folks going out of the pullback at Julian, and I showed them like let it move the focus truck where we were being so corrupt.
We already had
I was even
129 out of the 420
like a
points needed with
moaning.
9 games
When
left.
it's hand to hand nowadays,
Our
I've got
strategy
no
may
involvement.
have started to
And
fall
if I
apart.
say my whole I'm home alone, I'm not cooking. My you complicated is complicated because it's so open. The white and blue trying to find it.
Based on this rollout plan, what question?
I got his assistance.
You got one. I can't res.
You want to speak? They're going to jump in.
I'm micro.
Yes.
With the team distracted from the bot, I was able to escape. And then I died in zone. But over the next 2 games, things would continue to spiral downwards. Refs got pooed on going for the cash, and then I lost the 1v1. And in game 4, we attempted to sneak onto the forecast tower, but were spotted and again lost the fight. We had only managed to gain 2 points in the last 3 games, and things weren't looking good. Because we now needed a massive point game, we decided to go for the forecast tower for one last time. However, this time, it was successful, and we were able to see every single next storm circle and rotate appropriately.
They're spitting shit though, we just gotta look for something.
We can slurp late and then use it to run.
Or no.
Oh, nice. You don't need that blue, really.
Yeah, good. Just focus on him, griefing him.
Alright, we gotta... I'm gonna go on your cone and rocket damage.
Oh, hit one here?
We
No,
gotta
chill
just
him,
run
chill
for the
him.
building actually.
Tell me when you're gonna rocket. I'm gonna slurp first.
Yeah.
I got a kill.
I think you just run. Look, it's going right side, by the way.
Yeah, chilling.
Yeah, wow, yeah, sure. So, there you go.
Nice, good stuff.
Get us you can.
Okay, I'm popping the slurp right now. In the zone.
Yeah, these kids are looking. I'm kinda low. Yeah, I'm full low. It's tight.
Yeah, I'm getting sprayed.
It's pretty better.
Underneath you?
Yeah, I got a slave off. I'm just gonna build for now.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah, you're chilling.
Yeah, get into me. Killing far better. We're gonna go in our... Do you know the cone trick with the rocket?
Yeah, of course.
Yep. Come on, heights. I'm landing front, I'm building up.
Yeah.
I'm coming up to you.
I'm on height.
Filling them up.
10 builds.
Okay, I have good nuts.
Yeah.
You need to spray one now though. Back, here, take.
Reloading.
Look right here. Can you do it? Okay now?
Still connected? No, we're chopped.
Yeah.
I'm still up.
Still up. Land right here, correct? One speed. Down and low. Look, that's the duo. Correct, focus.
Yep.
Correct. Control. I cracked everyone, bro.
Yep.
Right here.
Good man.
Good. Focus, right here. Double focus, look. That's better.
Nice. Drop in. Move front.
Slow.
I'll connect. I can connect.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just gonna cook. Swing.
Cracked. The other one?
Nice, bro.
Nice, let's go.
With that second game, we're now up to 225 points out of the 420 we need, and even nicer, we're 69th on the leaderboard. Since all we needed to do was just play consistently, we decided to no longer go for the forecast tower and just play for endgame every game. Until...
Can you put some fruit? 2-1.
Dead? No. Gone.
We can't do it.
Yep.
It's not him, it's a duo.
You don't know. It's tricky.
Not gonna lie, I think this guy's just a max damage go. Now, after throwing a relatively easy game, we thought, why not just do the same strategy again?
Yeah. Yeah.
We ended up getting in the mid-game, and we thought we'd be set up perfectly for the moving zones. However, what we didn't realize is that we were about to play one of the weirdest endgames in Fortnite history. And more importantly, I was gonna outfrag Rescard.
I'm not landing on house. I'm landing left side though.
I'm down low. I'm safe. I'm safe. Got good build here.
I can just run. I'll get you.
Got a nice tarp here.
I can get a buddy, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I've used a bunch of mats, but I'm in. You good? I just got the worst kill ever. Oh, on me? Yeah, I'm just playing charge. Just try to get a kill or something. I can get you, I can get you. On you, yeah.
How long's your rocket?
It's free, it's on. Okay. I have no mats, so I'm just gonna play charge.
I have 2 bullets. I don't know, someone.
Dead, 200. I'm just playing charge. They're just gonna hold out. You edit.
You can maybe rocket rain buff or something. Do that. I'll send you.
Yep. Match charge.
I'll send those. Alright, spring back.
Guys on over there.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm on you.
Good, right here. Good. 3, 2, 1. No, they dropped. Just stay ahead though. Good. Back down, guys. I have 4 bullets. You can just hide. Just hide.
Cool. Body. Go for it. No, I can't get it. Yeah, no. It's no free loot.
Just sit, you can watch. Walk it up.
Dead on one, killed one. There's another one down on low. I'm getting mats. I didn't get any. I've got 0. I'm so confused right now. I'm just hugging. Dead. Nice. Good stuff. Can we get that? No, I can't. Great. Let's go!
We've been dead, bro.
7 kills.
We're top 12. We're calling.
Get a screenshot before it all goes wrong.
You're him, bro. You're him.
But I can't hear you. At this point, I could hear the game, but I couldn't hear Refsguard at all. My Discord had completely muted, and we were dropping out of the bus. The weirdest part of all, my recording still picked up Refsguard's audio.
It's over, chat. What the fuck? Hello?
After almost 2 minutes, I realized that my system audio had muted for some reason. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're back. Now we had almost no loot off spawn. We tried to salvage what was left of the game, but unfortunately we're just pressured by too many teams in the mid-game and went out. In order to be able to call myself Scotland's best Fortnite player, is stacked with pros. Malabuka, Thomas HD, Reason, Ripex, Cami and Seti. Refsguard audio.
It's over, chat. What the fuck? Hello?
After almost 2 minutes, I realized that my system audio had muted for some reason. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now we had almost no loot off spawn. We tried to salvage what was left of the game, but unfortunately we're just pressured by too many teams in the mid-game and went out. In order to be able to call myself Scotland's best Fortnite player, we needed to win one of our 2 remaining matches. But our game 9 lobby is stacked with pros. Malabuka and Thomas HD, Reason, Ripex, Cami and Seti, and all of a sudden, left is a solo. We only have 1 game left, and we'll have to win it in order to qualify.
Yeah, you can cook it. They might try to run down and stuff. Don't go for me.
Oh, they've seen me.
Get in the mud and just fucking... You got a crossbring.
Continue.
You're him. Oh my god, he's him, chat.
One. Somehow we'd managed to recover this absolutely miserable game. Now all we had to do was win. Got it. Dead. Got a coin. Dead.
Nice, bro.
Reason.
Look,
Sorry,
look,
go back,
go
go
right,
back.
go right once.
Yeah, go back, go back.
Once ready? I'm just gonna not be greedy. Come on,
Let's
let's
go. I can splash us if we need to. Yeah, I got a big counter. Yep, I'm gonna try to get you.
Hello, swing around.
Nice. I'm on you.
I'm gonna go, okay? Ready?
Yep, I'm in your cone.
Get ahead, get ahead. Then Logan,
I'm
front Logan, front Logan.
Yeah.
Go on some heights. And so, don't be scouting.
I'm with you. Oh, behind us, team shooters in the back. Oh, there's a good wall. I'm cracked, I'm cracked.
Get back, get back.
Yeah, I'm chilling. Go back.
Putting up, can you back?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go up. You're doing good though, just keep up.
Yes, sir.
Oh, this is the back.
Oh, I'm chopped. I'm just gonna rock it.
Gotta get up.
Yeah, I'm gonna chop a height. I rock out high. I chopped out high. I'm landing safe. I'm chilling. Yeah, I'm chilling.
Yeah, I'm chilling as well. I'm gonna go on hide, okay?
Just play my mats.
Yeah, I space left. And I cracked him as well. I want to kill him,
Nice. Guy land on my head.
Yeah, kill him.
I'm dead.
Dead, it's one out.
Nice.
You need to call the top push, man.
Yeah. Top 3. A duo solo you. 1v1. White.
Let's go! Leave. Oh my god, we're the best, bro!
Game remaining, we had somehow won 4 games, the most of any team in the European region. We won 409 points, however the 420 points needed to qualify to the finals was actually just an estimate. It became clear at this point we would need somewhere between 425 to 430 points until I could crown myself Scotland's best Fortnite player right now, and we only had 1 game to do it in.
Good, listen. Pretty good. We got this.
Did you got it? What?
4 in the middle.
Two munches. Cousin munch. Should get off the phone and play with your cousin.
Not on the phone, so go.
Play with your cousin.
Stop being cheeky and just go.
She wants you to play them.
Try to get away from this. Nice. Zone pulls here. Left side dead. Very. Beautiful there.
When was the last time you saw a piece of track that was legitimately
Not dropping.
Think about that.
Like, seriously. Oh god. You okay?
Mate. Nothing.
Yeah. Come here.
Oh my god.
No.
Have to come out. Have to come out.
The biggest pussy size at your desk. He picked the biggest computer desk he can make, and I was trying to get one.
No. Look that. Look that's not coming out.
That's not bad though, is it?
That look can fit, bro.
I know that shit is no meant to be here.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah. No, there's stuff.
Just a ball.
Stuff in there that you could eat and swallow.
No, there's not.
But yeah, what you playing?
I'm watching stuff.
Oh, there's more stuff that he can put in his mouth, eh?
Yeah, I can't play. I get 2 FPS in game.
You get 2 FPS?
2 FPS in the game.
How the fuck do that?
Because it's not good. Doesn't really work.
On what, your PC or the
PC.
monitor itself?
PC.
PC.
Yeah.
Should need a new rig in. Going to have to start talking sweet at her. I got a part-time job. I'm looking for something. Prices of fucking those graphic cards and all that, what I meant on, man.
No.
I think 427. I think it was enough.
430. Is that enough, Chad? Is that enough, Chad? Is that enough? Please, is that enough?
We had done it. We placed 39th, and I'd made it to my first Cash Cup finals ever. Probably the oldest person to do it at 29 years old as well. But there's something I didn't mention. In order to get the power ranking I need to actually be #1 in Scotland right now, I only obtained this from playing finals. And Refsgaard is in Italy for finals on holiday. So this means I have to play by myself against 49 of the best duos in the region. I'll earn the power ranking just by playing, even if I come last. But if I come 45th out of 50 teams, not only do I get more power ranking, but I get $100 of earnings, something I haven't gotten since 2019. Let's be real, how do you think this went? Didn't you? Minimum. Oh god. Panicking. Nope. Please. I know you may be thinking, why are you standing there healing in the open? Is it because of the John Cena skin? The answer is, I thought I had my C4 out here. Don't worry, it gets worse. No, no, dog on the map. I can't get out! No! Going into the final game, all I needed was a single point to not be last. All I would need to do is survive into the top 25 teams, so naturally I ended up dying in 26th. However, I achieved my goal. Not only did I manage to get Refsgaard his first last place in a tournament, but I now officially am the best Scottish Fortnite player for 5 days as Jake Buka overtook me. Make sure you go show some love to Refsgaard's Twitch. He may be the best player this season. Timmy and Misha just placed 3rd in the biggest Fortnite tournament of Chapter 4 Season 3, landing here on 3 chests and 2 buried chests. But not only that, they had 8 different drop spots split across the 12 games, all of them equally as shit as the last, and this strategy just doesn't make any sense. Every single season, we see the best teams from every single region try to alpha up the best drop spots. They argue on Twitter about who's landing there, they call anyone contesting them griefers, they will intentionally perform badly in cash cups to ensure that the other team contesting them also performs badly in the hope that they will leave the drop spot come FNCS Grand Finals, and all of this to ensure they get slightly better loot, materials, or positioning from wherever they're trying to land. Most regions had a battle for the watchtower here, but for a good reason, because it gave you access to the vault, has slurps, and the mythic flapjacks. But T and Misha are proof that just clearly doesn't matter as much as people think. They land at this garbage drop spot, open a chest or 2, and then rotate to this house to the south. You see, this looting path is very clearly pre-planned. You see, they've been studying the teams around them and understand that Mixon and Blaha rotate into this house to extend the looting path. On entering the house, Misha accidentally auto-picks up the SMG and ammo on the floor, but just in case, he actually puts
them back down onto the floor to make it seem like no one's in there. The trap for Blaha and Mixon is set. Disaster strikes. Dexy and Hedra rotate using the kinetic ore from the west, which breaks through the building, revealing their location. A fight then ensues, and unfortunately, due to the bad loot, Misha and Tini are wiped from the lobby. I know you're thinking, this strategy sucks, but that's why they planned 10 looting paths, even if they only ended up actually using 8. They know that Swizzy and Putrick go on top of this watchtower to get Storm Surge tags on the Citadel team. So since this bus path is east to west, while they're gliding, they make it seem like they're landing at Breakwater Bay to throw off Swizzy and Putrick. However, at the last minute, dip off to the left behind this hill and land at this house with 3 chests. After grabbing this minimal loot, they rotate up to the watchtower, and they've timed this perfectly because at this exact moment, Swizzy riffs and lands on top of the watchtower, completely unaware that the team is down below. They do not move for 4 minutes.
Tini and Misha are basically doing that whatever they want to because they don't know how to play Fortnite in finals.
And they fail again, but they played this right. Tini cones to box Swizzy into this floor, but the only reason he was able to escape is because he was thinking fast on his feet and used the mammoth pistol to break through the cone and escape the duo. They then wait for Swizzy and Putrick to leave the vault and grab whatever leftovers they can here, move over to the Citadel to find some more white heals, play Storm, eventually get a good couple refreshes, but the rotates were just too late this game and they both would eventually go down. No.
OMG, that's crazy. Yeah.
The reason I put this in the title. In all of their plans, they studied players who split very far apart from their duo. One player is significantly easier to fight than two, and it's especially true if you have have the element of surprise. In this match, they both land at the crude harbour, simultaneously break both slurp trucks to gain HP, loot a minimal amount, and then rotate up to the gas station. They wait here for a little minute to see if Paco and Yapko rotate past, but they don't, so they enact plan B. They harvest some brick and rotate around the north side of the map to Burge Barge. This is where Chari is looting. However, his duo, Giras, is miles away. They're patient enough to wait until Chari goes inside this cavern and sneak up to the entrance. Now, I'm not sure if it was planned or intentional, but the white skins and white hair definitely help them blend in. But unlike Swizzy in the previous game, Chari does panic and is wiped out of the lobby. But of course, if you knock out one player from the duo, that still leaves another one behind. If you know their looting path, cut them off, or you can just tap the card. So what do they do if this doesn't work? They've spent so much time camping, hiding around, that their inventory is just rubbish, and they clearly can't play out the rest of a high-level competitive game against the best players in the world with this loot and no storm surge damage. Well, that's where they start to prioritize mid-game objectives. We already know that some of the teams they sneaked on had the potential to gain them access to the vaults where they'd be able to get loot, but in the third zone, the zone after that, their combat cache would spawn. So if their loot wasn't good enough, they would hard focus the combat cache. The confidence needed to do this in every single game, knowing you're going to have to take a mid-game fight, is definitely impressive, but this is the kind of strategy if their loot is which is spawned at the start of the fourth zone. If the loot still wasn't good enough, I mean, it was here, but they didn't have enough materials, they would just jump straight into a full Joe's box. In an FNCS Grand Finals lobby, the team who wins is often just the most confident and well-prepared team. Everyone is so scared, but Misha and Tini can just jump straight into anyone's box, risking their entire game. But the loot they managed to gain from it speaks for itself. In this match, this risky play gave them every single thing they needed in order to win the game. However, there's one very important thing that I am yet to mention. This is a 2-day event, which means that a lot of the players will go into the VODs and figure out what Tini and Misha are doing and then prepare for that coming into the second day. But what these teams didn't know is that wherever they dropped depended on the bus route, and they had timed that some teams had to jump before them and some had to jump after them, meaning they were always going to be hidden. With all the prep in the world, these teams could try and scout as much as they wanted, but they would never know if Tini and Misha were anywhere near them because they could be at the other side of the map for all they know. This playstyle initially looked like a bit of a meme, but it was incredibly well thought out and planned. This may be the worst and riskiest game plan I've ever seen, but it's also kind of the best.
Meet the powerful bladeless fan that puts a whole new spin on cooling. Shark Turbo Blade.
I started my business to find freedom, but instead I found myself drowning in HR admin.
Throughout Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 2, the entire competitive community thought the Wings of Icarus were awful. Almost all of the useful strategies required you to combine it with the Flowberry Fizz as you take fall damage otherwise, plus they have a massive hitbox, and most importantly, it's just incredibly difficult to find a set of wings for both players on a team. Sure, there were some useful rotations you could make with them, but it was just so difficult for teams to build a game plan around an item they get so inconsistently and has such a high risk. But one man's trash is another man's treasure, as when the FNCS Grand Finals rolled around, a handful of some of the best teams in the world were all carrying the Wings of Icarus in the first game. They clearly knew something that we didn't. The item had received a buff, and somehow almost nobody knew about it. 4 days before the FNCS Grand Finals, where $1 million in prize pool was up for grabs, Epic Games released a patch. Now, in the version 29.30 patch notes, they mentioned a bunch of boring stuff that I don't care about. See, by using the Wings of Icarus against a structure, the animation will